in yards, and they looked sluggish. There were errors in the field and the inability to shut down the Rangers offense. That did in the Birds on their first day back. But the O's pitching staff has had only one back-to-back losses by starters. Well, they'd like to keep that going tonight, and that's the job of Jake Arrieta. It's the Orioles on Macedon. Game 2 of this 4-game set against a very good Texas team that showed just how good their offense is, and not bad pitching either in last night's win in Game 1. So for the Orioles tonight, it's about regrouping. And Buck Showalter didn't want to hear anything about the long game Sunday. He said, take a look at the Red Sox score. Oops, enough. So the Orioles have got to come back tonight, find a way to get it back together. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne. It's a kind of something's got to give game. If you take a look at the numbers for these two teams, home and road. For the Orioles here at home, their earned run average is second. Opponent average, fourth lowest. The bullpen continues to be very good wherever they pitch, and the starter ERA is right there. But the Rangers on the road have been spectacular. They've got the best batting average on the road. Their on-base percentage is number 1, and their slugging percentage is number 1. This is a team that, while they do well at home, they are even better when they get out on a road, and that makes them a very tough team to beat.
Yeah, especially once they get out of Cleveland. And, of course, last year they won 52 games at home, 44 on the road, so they were better at home. They hit by 40 more home runs. But we saw last night 4 doubles. They hit 3 additional home runs. They were 8 for 15 with runners in scoring position. Brandon Snyder, former Oriole, had 6 RBIs, 3-run home run, and the single for 2 runs. So what impressed me is that they use the whole field, and that's what they do whether they're playing at home or on the road.
And they do it not only for base hits, and even extra base hits, but for home runs. They've got guys who can bat the ball right or left field.
Well, they really do. And in Buck Showalter's pregame, he said, the one thing, and we saw how well they hit with runners in scoring position, Orioles' number much lower than theirs. He said, but the one guy that doesn't matter if a guy gets on in front of him is your pitcher. You hand him the ball, and then you say, go get him. Well, Jake Arrieta is coming off his best start that I've seen him. Arms well, up in New York, pitched about as good a game as you can. So, to me, Texas is the gold standard. They're the best team in the American League. They won 96 games, been back-to-back World Series, even though they haven't won. We'll see about Arrieta because we know they can hit, but I know he can pitch.
And one of the things that makes them interesting is you'll see a different lineup in there for Texas tonight. They, too, like the Orioles, are a team of movable parts, and the parts they move around are pretty darn good when you have the likes of Moreland and Murphy sitting on the bench in last night's game.
Well, you're right, and he's going to plug them in, talking about Ron Washington. Moreland had the bad wrist, but still hit a couple of home runs in the World Series. The one thing that you'll see their Gold Glover DHing again for the second night, and that's Adrian Beltre because he has the hamstring problem. But then again, he still got his hits last night, just couldn't leg them out.
And we'll see a closer turn starter. Neftali Feliz is going on the other side, and the outcome of making that change obviously won't be clear until this season is done. So far, it's kind of a mixed story.
Well, he's a big guy, 32 saves, 40 saves a year before. The big thing for any guy that comes out of the bullpen is how hard do you throw? It's kind of like you're going to run a mile, you're going to run a sprint. Coming out of the bullpen, it's a sprint. Now it's more of a start. He's really good the first 2 innings, and then all of a sudden the other teams have been able to make some adjustments.
Well, the Orioles are going to hope to be able to do that tonight against him, and when we come back, we'll see Game 2. That is Nancy Sinatra. Those boots are made for, and her dad is? Thank you. brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Jeep. Jeep and the unique brand of freedom you'll find only in the full line of Jeep vehicles. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. Take a look at our train game time temperature. A lot of people surprised this thing's going to get started on time. It is dark, cloudy, and it's rain drizzled on and off today. Very humid, 71 degrees to start the game. Visit train.com for an independent train comfort specialist dealer near you. It's hard to stop a train. Now let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Rangers, brought to you by Dodge. It will be Kinsler, Andrus, and Hamilton. Beltre, as Jim said, stays in the DH. Young, Murphy plays. Cruz, Napoli, Moreland plays. Big-time numbers for Young against the O's. See your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive and go to Dodge.com. Check out their powerful lineup.
And our AFCIA Intelligent Report. Visit AFCIA.org, the Association for IT Pros. Well, the gold standard, that's what the Rangers are. World Series back-to-back, 19 hits last night, 14 runs. So hitters tell you how you're pitching. Of course, Arrieta coming off a great start. He dominates right-handers. Again, they're only hitting 183. Lefty's only hitting 228, but they hit all the 4 home runs he's given up. And go West, young man. The one division he has struggled with is the Western Division. I know Horace Greeley, you're thinking at home. Horace Greeley said that back in 1865. But again, for Arrieta, who's healthy.
Did you Google that?
No.
No? You just knew it?
Well, I know Horace Greeley said it, but he really didn't say it.
He didn't?
He took credit for it.
But he didn't say it?
Well, he did say it, but he said it after John Sewell.
After John Sewell said
back in 1851. So you knew that.
That'll be foul back. So it went from 1851 to 1865.
Yeah, he was still using the material. Yeah. I use your stuff all the time. Well, it got me some ice cream.
I guess.
I was in the neighborhood today. Whatever Gary has.
My stuff will always get you ice cream. Here is Ian Kinsler. Kinsler had a 2 for 6 in the ball game last night. There he had his pitch. Will miss, and a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Kinsler, part of the big attack in the game last night. 14 runs, 19 hits, and a ground ball to second base. Andino, who moved over towards the bag, will record the out with Davis at first.
Take a look at the Oriole defense. Challenge last night because, again, the 19 hits and 14 runs. Chavez, Jones, Markakis, Oriole outfield. Betamede, as Reynolds will do the DHing. He played third last night. Hardy, Andino, Chris Davis. He of the pitching lore over at first base, and then Matt Wieters. He will do the catching for the Orioles.
Seems like that Sunday game was about 5 months ago, doesn't it? I mean, that's baseball. You move on to the next day, and the next day shuts out everything else that happened for the most part, and you're right back in it again.
Well, I think
the beauty of the game.
Well, Buck Showalter says that, and the Red Sox go to Kansas City. Middlebrooks hits a couple of home runs. They win 11-5. I don't think anybody's going to compare Kansas City to the Rangers. And the other thing about the Rangers, they, as you mentioned last night, they had only won one of their last 3 series, a game in each one of them, and they lost all the rubber games. So they came hunting for Barry last night, and they certainly took advantage of Mattis early on.
And that is in there for a strike by Jake Arrieta, as Arrieta looks to improve on an 18-16 career number. Big change this year. Left-handed hitters. They hit 275 against him last year, hitting only 228 against him this year. And that has not changed. What Ron Washington has done with his lineup is there will be a number of lefties. Hamilton, Murphy, Moreland in the lineup will be left-handed hitters against him. A straightaway defense. Boy, we don't say that very often. Against Elvis Andrus. Andrus had a big 3 for 6 last night. He's going to start out here with a walk with 1 down.
Take a look at Jake Arrieta when we talk about what he throws. So again, the sinker and the fastball are the same. So that's 58%, 15% curveballs, 16. And let's go. You can see right here again, you go sinker and fastball. So it's pretty much the same. And it goes, of course, it varies from game to game in his game against the Yankees. And again, it's probably as good as I've ever seen him pitch. Only threw about 56% fastballs.
Hamilton launches that one to center field. Jones going back, warning track wall, and goodbye, home run. And is Adam Jones all right? Josh Hamilton, a 2 RBI homer off Arrieta. He had 1 last night. He had 2 RBIs last night. He's got 2 tonight. And Texas, with only 3 batters to the plate, has a 2-0 lead.
Well, if you want to throw 3-1 breaking balls to Andrus to get this guy to the plate, and then you can see right here, it just ends up in the middle of the plate. Last night, the home run was about knee high, hit it to right center. And look at the collision. And again, the wall's padded, but behind it, it's pretty solid. So again, a nice attempt, and you could see the recoil. You just hope that the concussion-like symptoms aren't there for Adam Jones. You could see his head snap back.
What a blow. I mean, he had a chance.
Right there.
Wow.
Yeah. See, the pads are there, but the wall doesn't give. I mean, the padding does.
Home run leader, Josh Hamilton, 11th home run of the season, the RBI leader. Hamilton also has that with 30 now. And Texas jumps out to the 2-0 lead. And that is just the 5th home run surrendered by Arrieta on the season. And the first one to a right-hander. Second base, Arrieta's got to cover it. Nice throw made by Andino to get it to him. Beltre is retired.
Now, for a guy that throws 94, 95 miles per hour to throw a 3-1 breaking ball with Hamilton on deck, boy, that is a very unusual strategy early in the game. And when you do it, the walks, and again, everybody says walk kills you. I've said this probably 1,000 times. It's what happens after the walks. So as good as Andrus is hitting, he doesn't hit the ball out of the ballpark. You have to, at least early in the game, lights haven't taken effect, make him put the ball in play. You throw him a 3-1 slider, and then all of a sudden the 2-run home run really puts you in a hole.
Here's Michael Young. Young had a 2-for-4 in the ball game last night. Continues his career numbers against the Orioles, a .311 batting average against the O's lifetime. He has not had a hit off Arrieta. He's gone 0-for-7, and he's about to be 0-for-8. 2 runs in, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Hamilton puts the home run up on the board before his pitcher can get to the mound. Look at the starting lineup for the Orioles, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Chavez, Hardy, and Markakis, Jones, Wieters, and Davis, Betemit, Reynolds, and Andino. This month, a good start for Wilson Betemit.
And our scouting or intelligence report, please release me. Well, it's not the song by Engelbert Humperdinck, but it's last year in the pen, so he gets out of the pen to start. And again, second time around, they hit him much better the second time through the order. Still adjusting to being a closer. And then the third one is hang around, because with this team, the longer you're out there, the more chance they have to score runs.
Please release me, let me go. And the second time around, all in the same scouting report. The second time around. Here's Endy Chavez, and that will be foul back. Chavez getting the start in left field. Left-handers only 154 off Feliz. Right-handers only 243. You combine those and you've got a very solid batting average below 200. Rain expected here tonight. Everybody's waiting for it. It's just a hope that that doesn't happen. But there is rain all around the area forecast into tonight and through tomorrow night. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Chavez will take the breaking ball inside. The Rangers do not come back to Baltimore this 4-game series. Therefore, in some form or other, needs to be played. And both Ron Washington and Buck Showalter were talking as much about that before the game as anything else, and to figure out what they would do if there should happen to be a doubleheader necessary during this 4-game stretch.
Yeah, and the weather not supposed to be good tomorrow, so I imagine if there's going to be a doubleheader, if this one doesn't get played, it would probably be on Thursday.
2-2 delivery. Chavez will fight that one back.
And they go home to play the Angels. Yu Darvish and C.J. Wilson, former Ranger. They'll pitch against each other on Friday night. So, they don't want to play a doubleheader. Even would be probably a twilight doubleheader. Or maybe it would be a split doubleheader.
Nobody wants to play a doubleheader, but the Orioles, obviously, with what happened Sunday, their bullpen still trying to recover. The last thing they need is to have a doubleheader. They still have discussions going on about who's going to start on Friday and whether or not there will be a change in the rotation after Brian Mattis's outing last night. And again, foul back. So a nice job of making Feliz work here. Remember, you take a closer who's used to throwing about 20 pitches in a ball game, which is what Feliz did last year, as he worked in 64 games and only 62 innings. And you extend him out. Obviously, there has to be an adjustment period. And that's what Feliz is going through right now. And thanks to the leadoff batter for the Orioles, Endy Chavez, who's going to throw his 10th pitch to the first batter of the ball game.
Yeah, coming up through the minor leagues, and he started with Atlanta, came over the Teixeira trade.
And got him.
See, this is what he can do. And again, he could do that out of the pen. He does have a slider. We've seen that. We've already seen the changeup. But at the end of the day, this is bread and butter. And that's in the middle of the plate, but it's 97 with movement. All just running enough, two-seamer. Just couldn't quite get to it.
Our Nissan Pitch Track. Get to a Nissan dealer for great deals and innovation you can count on. Innovation for all. Right-hander only 24 years old. Here is Hardy. Hardy 0 for 1 against him. Feliz has always had the 3 pitches, the slider, changeup, fastball. He got rid of the changeup, just stopped using it almost entirely in 2010, and just went slider, fastball. He has picked up the changeup again coming into this season as a starter and is using it extensively. He's not afraid to throw it. Here's the 1-1 delivery to Hardy. He'll take the pitch away. JJ on a resurgence here, hitting at 235. He continued it with a 3 for 4 in the ball game last night. 2 ball, 1 strike count. And Hardy will rip that one in the air to right center field, going back deepest part of the yard. That's going to take a hit off the base of the wall. Hamilton will play it in, and Hardy stays hot with a double.
Yeah, and he's wondering how that ball, compared to last night, didn't go out of here. Ball was jumping last night. I mean, a lot of hittable pitches for the Orioles. Harrison got the ball up, and Dino hit a home run, so did Bettamy. But right here, I mean, this ball's belted. So he's now 9 for his last 13. He is not missing pitches in the middle of the plate, and there's one of them. Like it, hard to tell right there. Almost looked like it got out of here, hit the back wall, and I think JJ was assuming. But again, it's a very humid and also a very wet evening.
Now here's Nick Markakis. The runner at second and 1 away. Markakis' struggles continue as he's had only 1 hit in his last 17 at bats over the last 4 games. He had an 0 for 3 in the ball game last night. And the Orioles trying to pick things up with runners in scoring position. Had done a good job of it in the Boston series. Didn't have many chances last night. And that will be put up in the air down the line in left field. And no play.
Take a look at the Rangers defense here at Camden Yards. Murphy comes in to play left. Hamilton, Cruz, Young, Andrus, Kinsler, And then Mike Moreland over at first. Mike Napoli, second straight night behind the plate. Yeah, I can't imagine. I mean, you never know, but the way, if you have your advanced scouts and they've seen Nick Markakis, the league has been throwing the ball by him for whatever the reason is. Maybe not seeing it. So we'll see if Feliz is throwing 97, sticks with the fastball.
1-1 delivery on the way, fisted him.
Yeah, and that's 97 right on your fist. And up and in.
The Orioles only had one chance with a runner in scoring position in the ball game last night. Ended up with an 0-for-1. Hardy at second base here in the first inning for the Orioles. Nick Markakis last year had an .894 OPS, on base percentage plus slugging, the highest against any team that he faced last season. And we'd love to continue those kind of numbers this year. A 1-ball 2-strike count. Nick with 14 walks, 3 home runs, 11 RBIs, 5 doubles for him. And Presley keeping a close eye, because obviously they want this bat working. They've got to have it working. 1-2 and a slider that'll come way inside. 2-ball 2-strike count from Feliz.
Yeah, Jim Presley talking about yesterday the big difference from Nick Markakis early on, and you have to understand the abdominal surgery did not have a normal spring training, but the hands have gotten back farther, trying to get him in a load position so you can be ready to hit.
That one's going to go to second base. Kinsler makes the play over to Moreland. Hardy will move to third base, but there are 2 down.
No, you never know with that breaking ball in the dirt, as he does have that hard slider.
Feliz has yet to throw a wild pitch in the 4 starts he's had. He has hit 1 batter. Runner at third base now with 2 down, and here's Adam Jones. Adam had an 0-for-3 in the ball game last night. Feliz has thrown 20 pitches already here in the first inning, but the Orioles have not been able to put anybody across yet. Jones hitting .304, runners in scoring position, one of the best numbers for the Orioles, and the pitch is up high.
You know what he has to like about tonight, in spite of the stuff that Feliz brings to the mound, is that he's only 3 for 26 against left-handed pitching, 330 against righties.
That'll be taken down low, and the count will go to 2-0 on Jones. The Orioles coming into this ball game have now lost 6 consecutive games against the Rangers, going back to last year. So the Orioles trying to break that scheme. Well, this Texas team, as Jim said, they haven't won a series in their last 3. Ron Washington trying to get a couple of wins at least in a series. Of course, they still are 4 games up in the National League West with their 19-10 record. Jones with a 3-0 count. Hardy off third base. And Feliz will come in with a fastball to him, taken all the way, 3-1. The other thing for Feliz, when he pitched last year, when you watched him in relief, he's rather an emotional guy. Sometimes wore it on his sleeve. You can't do that very well as a starter. He's going to be out there too long, so he has to control that. First and third. Take a look at our PNC Inside the Numbers, brought to you by PNC Bank for the achiever in you. The American League leaders batting average when there are 2 outs. Matt Wieters in a select group of Jeter, Young, Pierzynski, and Hanahan. .370. Wilson Bettamy to the Orioles at .357, tied for 7th. So 2 good hitters with 2 down, and this is exactly the situation for Wieters with runners at first and third.
Yeah, he's got to get going also, that 2 for 18 with runners in scoring position. One thing about Feliz, even in 5 innings in his last start, walked 6 guys. So you'll see if that comes into play tonight.
Wieters has an 8-game hit streak. And Matt's going to take it inside for a ball. And it's a hit streak that's not just 8 games, but one that is filled with numbers. Home run, 5 RBIs, and a .343 batting average. And he's hit in 13 of the last 14 games that he's been in. And Wieters will punch that one out towards left field. Shortstop Andrus going back, and he'll make the play. Though the Orioles retired, no runs on 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on base. Rangers lead it 2-0. for the Luna double and get your second room of flooring free. 877-241-LUNA. It'll be Murphy, Cruz, and Napoli coming up against Jake Arrieta here in the second inning. Arrieta here at Camden Yards this season 1-1 career. He's had 23 previous starts in this ballpark with an 8.7 record and a 4.62 ERA.
Yeah, his last start about as good as you could pitch. 5-hitter, 8 innings. Nobody reached second base. Didn't walk anybody. Struck out 9 in Yankee Stadium.
And the lefty up against him. Murphy did not start in the ball game last night. David Murphy did get in and ended up with an 0 for 1 in the ball game. He is 2 for 7 lifetime off Arrieta. And the pitch to Murphy will miss. Murphy's 5 for his last 16, covering a 6-game stand rather. He's had his batting average up about 10 points during that. He's another hitter who, and there are a lot in this Texas team who've really done well here in this ballpark. Career average 339, 3 home runs in this yard. 2-1 delivery to him the other way, and foul.
Yeah, another Ranger that uses the whole ballpark. Whereas last year the least amount, he had 275, but 11 home runs, the lowest. I remember early last year, Scott Coolbaugh, their hitting instructor, came on for Thad Bosley about a month into last season after Clint Hurdle was their hitting instructor back in 2010.
And Murphy goes after one. Arrieta gets a strikeout.
Well, I tell you again, this is what we saw in New York. Just perfectly thrown fastball outside corner, great movement, couldn't cover the corner because of the velocity and location and movement. That's my point about you don't throw Elvis Andrus when you have that kind of fastball 3-1 slider with Hamilton in the first inning. You got to make him put the ball in play, and he walked him.
Here's Nelson Cruz, who may have gotten out of his funk with a 3 for 4 in the ball game last night. His 5th 3-hit game of the season, but he'd been just 2 for 22 prior to that. Big cut on a pitch down and away to him. He has started all 30 games in right field. He's tied for 6th in the American League in strikeouts, but he can drive the long ball and extra base hits
anywhere, any part of the ballpark.
He would not chase for that one, and the count goes to 1-2. 235 number, as you saw on the year. Nelson Cruz also an Oriole buster. 375 lifetime averages, 6 home runs against the Orioles.
Yeah, you'd like to think as your pitching gets better, those numbers will go down. You have to remember the Orioles usually up there with the highest ERA over the last really 14 years.
And that's going to miss outside. So Cruz went after one of them, but not the next 2, and the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Dino, the second baseman, almost behind the bag, and the ball's hit the other way, and a base hit into right field. Just what Ron Washington had been telling him he needed to do. He has done it in the first 2 games of this series. On to the single. Maryland Lottery strike it rich contestant of the game, James Smith from Lexington Park. Jim, you've already won $500 to start, and for every strikeout the Orioles have during the game, you get 100 more for the Maryland Lottery. See how you can turn non-winning strike it rich scratch-offs into cash. Enter to win great Oriole prizes. MDLottery.com/strikeItRich. Here's Mike Napoli. Again doing the catching, 2 for 5 and an RBI in the ballgame last night. And the pitch is in for a strike to him. Napoli's 2 for 2 with a home run off Arrieta. Rangers, a couple of hits with Cruz on at first base. Arrieta's 0-1. And that will miss inside.
Yeah, you saw the 7 home runs, 5 of them. I mean, you had mentioned how well they were hitting, 5 of them on the road. In fact, going into last night in his last 11 games, so now make it 12 games, he's hit those 5 home runs.
Hamilton's had one in this ball game, sitting over there on the bench. And the 1-1 delivery, and that will be swung on and tipped foul at the plate. His 6 home runs, time for first in the American League. Adam Jones, of course, has done the same for the Orioles. On the road, solid average, 14 RBIs. The Rangers 11-5 on the road, 8-5 at home. 1-2 delivery towards second base. Andino right there. Hardy's got it. Here's the relay. Double play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. Napoli hitting into the 2. Take a router. Rangers 2-0. Brought to you by Chevy Cruze, offering the best highway mileage of any gas engine in America. Are those raindrops or sequence or?
That bird is dazzling.
Dazzlers. There's the dazzler right there. Apple a day with a glove in your hand. Means you're doing well. You finish it. Here's Chris Davis. Davis 0 for 3 in the ball game last night. 0 for his last 11. Some of the youngsters on hand tonight for the second game of this 4-game set. Feliz with a delivery to him's up high for a ball. Feliz is one of 2 closers moved into a starting role who last season in the majors. The guys who had at least 5 saves or more. Feliz ended up with 32. He had a 2-3 record, 32 saves. Chris Sale moved into that spot with the White Sox last year, 2-2 with 8 saves. Sale back and forth, pen to starter. Pitch will be taken inside for a ball, and a 2-ball 1-strike count on Davis.
So and they actually, Feliz started last spring, and then at the last minute Ogando moved in to the starting role, won 13 games. They used Ogando in the bullpen and during the postseason, 17 games. And then this year Ogando automatically the bullpen, and they go out and sign Joe Nathan.
Yep.
Who's had a nice start for him. The veteran closer.
Here's the 2-2 delivery to Davis, swung on a miss. So Feliz comes back after getting behind and gets his second strikeout as Chris Davis is in a funk.
Nope. Yeah, 0 for 12, and in the previous 10 games, and this is just hard to catch up right here. You just see good moving fastball at 96. That's his best pitch. He can mess around with all that other stuff. End of the day, that's his bread and butter pitch. I don't know if he knows that.
Wilson Betemit has faced him more than anyone else in the lineup. He's 0 for 6 against Feliz. Betemit had a 1 for 3 in the game last night, hitting at 265. 1-0 delivery up high. Betemit's providing some power, home run power, including first career home run against the Rangers in the ball game last night. Orioles would get a couple of home runs, but account for only 3 runs in the game. Popped up outside of third base. Young. Ball came back to him. 2 down. 2 away in the second. Brooks Robinson, Orioles Legends Celebration Series. The unveiling of the sculpture was originally scheduled for Saturday, been postponed until September 29. Game against the Rays, 7:05, will be played that date as originally scheduled. Fans who wish to exchange their tickets can do so for the September 29 game or any non-prime home game this season. The replica Brooks sculptures will be given away to all fans September 29. You can do that at the box office on exchanging tickets, or go to Orioles.com. Here's Mike Reynolds. Reynolds is in the DH role in the ball game tonight, and 0 for 2 in the ball game last night, and hitting at 190, second in the league in strikeouts. And the 1-0 delivery is in there for a strike from Feliz.
It's amazing how this game goes. 6 for his last 10 after being 3 for 33. Davis over 10 games was hitting 400. And it goes going in opposite direction.
Little check swing goes off the plate. Feliz will throw a fastball to first and will get the out. So the Orioles are retired. 1-2-3 to complete here at Camden Yards, and the Rangers lead. A 14-3 loss. That's not something our guys are going to dwell on. Part of what we do for a living. You get thrown some self-inflicted things. Orioles committed some errors and walks last night you have to deal with, and nobody's going to feel sorry for you. Hopefully we'll get a good night's rest and turn the page. Texas, however, is going to make that page turning a little harder, as they have already come away with 2 runs on the Hamilton homer. Brian Roberts continues to be with the ball club, signed there in the corner, talking to Buck Showalter. Here is Mitch Moreland, who did not play in the ball game last night. Moreland against Arrieta, 2 for 3 with a home run. Moreland has the highest batting average in the American League over the last 10 days and is upped his average to 279 on the season. He's hit safely in 9 of the last 10 at a 438 clip, and with the shift on, tries to bunt his way on down the third base side.
Well, maybe that's why they win 96 games. They take what you give them. And sometimes you have to subjugate your ego for the good of the ball club. So if they're going to give you a bunt base hit, doesn't get it down, but it's certainly a great idea with Kinsler coming up. Home run power right behind you.
Orioles didn't change their defensive alignment because that's Hardy. And the shortstop makes the play, and Moreland is retired, 1 away. This day in baseball brought to you by Ocean City, Maryland. Go to OCOcean.com and click on a summer of thanks for special deals and discounts. It was in 1966 that the big ball was hit out of the yard. Frank Robinson hit the ball out of Memorial Stadium. And on this date in 1971, Willie Mays and Hank Aaron played in the same game and became the first 2 players with 600+ home runs each to go deep in the same game. And the pitch, a strike on the outside corner.
Yeah, the interesting factoid of Frank, it's the only ball.
The only one. And there is
Frank. And it happened on a Sunday afternoon. Louis Tion started Friday night. We knocked him out. We had a doubleheader on Sunday. He came back, pitched the first game. Frank took him out of the ballpark. I attempted to do it, but Frank Howard's drive hit the top of the chain link fence, or it would have been the second one.
It was a good effort on your part, though. Lay that pitch right in there.
Oh, no. It was Ted Williams telling Frank, move off the plate. I didn't know where to pitch him, and the result was a blast.
There's Kensler's ground ball back to the mound. Arias got it, gets it over to first. And there are 2 away here in the 3rd inning. That ball traveled an estimated 541 feet in leaving the ballpark in 1966 and was much mentioned a couple of weeks ago when they unveiled that sculpture, both by Franks and by the people who talked to him. Bases are empty, and here's Andrus. Elvis Andrus drew a walk, and Arrieta paid for it, with Hamilton following with the home run. 313 on the season for the shortstop. And a breaking ball and a good one is in there for a strike.
Yeah, comes in with 35 hits already, and 10 to left, 15 up the middle, 10 to right. We saw that last night. Double down the corner to right, double to left.
He's going to bunt for a base hit. That's a perfect bunt. Throw to first. Not going to get him. Nice play made by Davis. Boy, that would have been 2 or 3. And a bunt single for Andrus and an 8-game hit streak.
Yeah, just a continuation pretty much of what they did last year. They were 3rd in runs scored. They were 4th in steals. They were 2nd in home runs. So you see a little bit of what they can do from a team concept every night the Rangers play. I've already seen it. They take the walk. He bunts his way on the second time. Then, of course, by getting on, what does it do? It brings Hamilton, as good a hitter as there is in baseball, MVP 2 years ago, to the plate.
Throw over, Andrus back. Hamilton also has the 8-game hit streak, delivering the home run leader. And the OPS leaders, as you might expect, since 2010. Josh Hamilton is 3rd behind Cabrera and Jose Bautista. Joey Votto and Paul Konerko in the top 5. And the fastball inside. The Orioles leave the shift on against him in the infield, straight away in the outfield. There's very little breeze blowing here tonight. A little bit at times from right to left. And there may be squalls around tonight as the showers move about. A 1-0 count on Hamilton. Elvis Andrus will go diving back into the bag. Against Arrieta, 2 stolen bases in 3 chances on the year. Wieters, of course, has thrown out 8 of 18. But Andrus, 5 out of 6 stealing bases.
Yeah, he's usually in the 30 range.
30 delivery inside, pickoff move, and that's going to get by. Good backup play made by Andino.
Yeah, 33, 32, and then 37 for Elvis Andrus. The other guy on this team that runs a lot is Kinsler. And that ball gets right by Chris Davis and happens to hit the bag, pop up in the air.
Wieters trying to pick him off down there. You would not think Andrus would be running here to even remotely take a chance of taking the bat out of Hamilton's hand. Here's the 2-0 pitch, and that's wide. Way back, left field, Endy Chavez. Goodbye, home run. A 2-homer ball game for Josh Hamilton. And he's got 4 RBIs and 2 home runs in his first 2 at-bats. 12 homers and 32 runs batted in.
Well, welcome to Camden Yards. I mean, this guy, all you have to do is go back to 2008, the home run derby in Yankee Stadium, one of the most memorable things I've ever seen. This is just a hitter's count, strong, great park to hit in. And again, the key to that at bat is Andrus getting on base, because otherwise you might just pitch around him 2-0, maybe make a little bit better pitch.
So the long ball being used by the Rangers, who have hit 43 home runs, tying them with Baltimore for homers in the American League. 2 off Arrieta here tonight and 6 on the season. And that pitch will be taken away. So tonight, when the post-game beverages and meals are bought, Hamilton will be buying for Elvis Andrus. And a swing and a miss. Andrus has set him up twice with a walk and a bunt single.
That's what you do. Get on for the big guys, table setters. We can talk about it all the time, but they know who they're. And they got a bunch of home run guys. I mean, they're sprinkled throughout this lineup.
Right off the end of the bat and foul. Beltre grounded out his first time up. So not a good start for Arrieta, and a 1-ball 2-strike count, 4 runs on 4 hits off him. And it's the home runs that have gotten the job done. And the delivery, and that'll be put in the air to right field. Markakis got turned around. He's looking, and goodbye home run. Back-to-back home runs by Hamilton and Beltre. And it is a 5-0 lead. Beltre with that bad hammy. That's how you make sure you don't have to hurt it. His 6th home run, his 17th RBI.
Well, what a great approach. He hit 32 home runs last year. You can see number 6. It's a slider that stays up. Slider, good slider. We'll see it just kind of hang. Now, the approach is terrific, too. I mean, you pull off it, it's probably a ground ball, but he just reaches out. The ball stays up, very much like the one he threw to Nelson Cruz for a single to right. And there the Rangers got another run.
And that pitch will be taken up high for a ball. Wow. After their big night, 14 runs, 19 hits last night, they start out tonight with a 5-0 lead. And we are only in the 3rd inning. And the pitch to Young, a 1-ball 1-strike count. Young grounded out his first time up.
Well, you mentioned early on that Orioles have lost 6 in a row. It's how they've lost them. They've been outscored coming into the game 60-15. 4 of those games 13 runs or more. I don't know if that's going to be the case tonight. But again, it just gives you an idea of how good they are.
Texas now has had 4 back-to-back home runs this year involving Kinsler and Andrus, Hamilton and Beltre, Moreland and Gentry, and Hamilton and Beltre again here in this game. And the pitch will be taken outside for a ball. For Hamilton, this is the 5th 2-homer game that he's had. He's never had a 3-home-run ball game. And another little chopper. Wieters dropped it and can't believe it. Tried to pick it up on Michael Young and never got a grip on it, and Young is on.
We saw a couple of these last night. They do lead the American League in infield hits. It's just a ball that you normally pick up. Your momentum's going that way. You can see probably got the edge of the ball, not the whole ball. Had to hurry a little bit.
So the Orioles continue to pile up errors. That is going to be their 30th error of the ball game, and this the 30th game of the season. And they are errors that have cost them, errors that have resulted in unearned runs. And Buck Showalter was talking about how last night the Orioles shot themselves in the foot a couple of times, walks and errors, and it's happened again here tonight already. Here's Murphy, a strikeout victim his first time up. 50 pitches have been thrown by Jake Arrieta, and the taxed bullpen looks like it's going to be on its way to be taxed again. Jones up with it. Young will stop at second base. Murphy is on with a single, and right now Arrieta is not getting anybody out.
Well, the end result, and that's one of our keys to the game, was the gold standard, and that's what the Rangers offense, and pretty much the whole team, bullpen, speed, pitching. So if you're not pitching well, they're going to let you know, and they have.
So Arrieta has given up 6 runs on 6 hits so far in the game. He has not given up more than 7 hits in a ball game. That came against Toronto this year. And the pitch will be taken, and it's 0-1. So a 5-0 lead, and the bullpen will be activated as Darren O'Day will start warming up for the Orioles.
No, you just got to get it in the dugout, and how do you do that? Make a good pitch, slider up the last time, and he just pinged it into right field. So they're hot, and the Orioles starters are not. And you have to, you got to get in there, and we preach this all the time. Sometimes it's hard to do, especially against a quality club, but put the brakes on somehow.
That ground ball to short could be the one. Hardy will go to second base to get the force out. But 3 runs in the inning, coming on 4 hits, an error, and 2 are left on base. In the bullpen, he's a 25-year-old acquired from Texas. Buck Showalter talked before the game about that big hole being dug with all the bullpen people having been used so much.
You rightfully call it a hole. I call it an opportunity for somebody. You know, that and it's part of the reason why we made some trades and some acquisitions and things to hopefully you know, you're going to have peaks and valleys to every season, and you're trying to minimize the valleys. And I think teams that have good years minimize those valleys. And like I've said before, it all starts and ends with how deep you get into the games with your starters. And quite frankly, the last 2 days we haven't done that, and we paid the price for it.
And the Orioles hope tonight won't be that way, but it's already 5-0. There is Phillips in the bullpen, Troy Patton on the right. So Feliz, a big lead to work with here, and he starts with a strikeout. That will be his third. Andino goes down swinging.
Yeah, you don't see Robert look that meek at the plate. It's almost like, and they were all like this. That really good pitch outside corner in 96. You could see the bad head, and Robert, pretty good fastball hitter when the ball was in the glove. Yeah, I was checking the numbers down at AAA Norfolk. Dana Evelyn is probably the best pitcher on the 40-man roster. The guy that is not on the 40-man roster, invited to spring training, Steve Johnson, has a whip of 1.05. That means walks and hits. But again, not overpowering. It never seems like he's up there on the radar screen, but he's pitched very well for him.
The Orioles want Zach Britton. That's who they want. Well, and they're just hoping that the rehab will all go well and they can get him back up here.
Don't you think that's about a month away, though?
Well, it's got to be, right? Because he's going to pitch tomorrow or something. I mean, he's not ready to get up here, and they're trying to fill the holes. Now that also means an opportunity for the people to get to do that. And a swing and a miss. Boy, these are bad at bats for the Orioles, and there are 2 down.
Well, you're seeing a guy, Feliz, going out there, and again, a starter in the minor leagues. They put him in the bullpen because he was only 22, and he's saved 40 games. So they were looking for a closer. Now they have other guys. Nathan Gondo and whatever, and he can throw some flame. I mean, they're waving at it.
And that ball will be fouled back. Hardy delivered a double in his first at bat. 5 runs, 6 hits for the Rangers, no runs, 1 hit. The Hardy double for the Orioles. We're in the bottom of the 3rd inning, and that ball's going to be popped up, and it'll be handled by Young at third base in a 1-2-3 inning, and 7 in a row have been retired by the 24-year-old right-hander who's got a walk and 4 strikeouts. To you by AT&T 4G LTE. With speeds up to 10 times faster than 3G, AT&T rethink possible. Gareth Arch and Palmer here at Camden Yards on kind of a misty, very humid evening. And right now, Texas on top as they've got the lead, and Jake Arrieta up to 55 on the pitch count. With the ball game last night, obviously the numbers for the Orioles pitching wise jumped when you give up 14 runs on 19 hits in one game. Overall, the Orioles ERA went from 2.78 to 3. Hits per 9 innings went from 7.6 to 8.01, and the Orioles went from 2nd to 6th in hits per 9 innings in the American League. The starting pitching ERA went from 3.82 to 3.56 to 3.82. And the Orioles went from 4th to 7th in one night in the American League standings for ERAs for their starting pitchers. And Texas is putting a dent in it again. Here's Napoli hit into a double play his first time up. Arrieta's pitch will be taken down low and a 2-ball 1-strike count.
Yeah, a lot of hitters counts and 3 or 4 glaring mistakes to a real good hitting ball club, and that's all it takes, especially a team that can hit home runs. And again, only the Yankees hit more last year.
2-1 delivery is going to be fouled away.
See, that's not a little soft single to right field swing from Mike Napoli, who hit 30 for him last year. Boy, what an acquisition he was. Caught well, hit well.
Moreland and Kinsley to follow. And the short hop. Nice play by Hardy. Plenty of time to get the out. 1 away in the 4th inning. The next T-shirt Thursday set for this week. The Orioles take on the Rangers Thursday at 7:05, and the first 10,000 fans 15 and over will receive a 20th anniversary Oriole Park T-shirt presented by Real Street Staffing. Get your tickets in advance and save 888-848-BIRD or go to Orioles.com. Moreland grounded out his first time up. This Texas team with their 19-10 mark, they have for this point in the season tied their best start in franchise history. They had the same record in 1976 and in 1998 after they'd played 29 games. They didn't have the lead Ron Washington's team has now in a West Division, not that strong. They have the 4-game lead, added a half game to that last night. Mitch Moreland, then the leadoff batter waiting on deck.
Big, strong left-handed hitter, 16 home runs last year.
And he'll take the pitch inside from Marietta, who falls behind him 3-0.
And you look, and he may be swinging, and you look at his numbers coming up through the minor leagues. Power, on-base percentage. The ability, doesn't play against lefties, but he did hit left-handers in the minor leagues. 17th round draft choice.
He'll take the strike. What a difference a start makes for Arrieta. And that start against the Yankees, no runs on 5 hits in 8 innings. No Yankee reached second base. In this ball game, 5 runs on 6 hits for Texas through 3. Here's the 3-1 delivery to Moreland. He'll ground that towards the hole. Andino is shifted over, and he'll make the play, and Moreland is retired. 2 down.
Yeah, the result is when he makes good pitches, because it's not about the stuff tonight. It's about the counts. It's about, again, how many balls you leave in the middle of the plate, especially here at Camden Yards. Hamilton has hit 2 balls that are up in the zone. Beltry's home run was on a high slider. So all you have to do, especially when you're getting shut out, as Harrison was able to do through the first 5 innings, it looks sometimes a lot worse than it is, but these guys can hit. They hit mistakes.
And a big cut taken by Kinsler, who has grounded out twice. He now has a hit in 7 at-bats off Arrieta, and that is a home run. Ian Kinsler, .348 lifetime against the Orioles with 8 homers. 2 down. Chance for a 1-2-3 inning. Up the middle, and Dino sets and gets it. With 3 ground ball outs here in the 4th. Now the Oriole bats will try and respond as it's a 5-0 Texas lead. But in this game, now, as we mentioned, the fact he's been a reliever, is that why those numbers look that way?
Well, he's had a couple of good starts. I don't know. I guess we're going to see. But his stuff's electric tonight. And one of our other keys was hang around. The longer he goes, the more opportunity, especially if he's pitching the way he is. But to me, when you have this kind of arm, there's not a lot. Doesn't look like there's a lot of effort. That's how special his arm is. He's so quiet.
And here's Nick Markakis, and the pitch inside for a ball. Markakis 0 for 1 in the ball game. Nick 1 for his last 18. And the 1-0 delivery. Elise gets it in, and that will be fouled away.
And again, it's just amazing with young pitchers. I mean, that's a perfect example. He was able to get in on Nick's fist the first time at 96-97. What does he do the next time? Starts him off with a breaking ball. And you just can't understand that thinking. Speeds up the bat.
1-1. Fastball foul back off the fist.
And then at 96, and it's not only 96, it's got a lot of life. And that's what the hitters will tell you. And you have 4/10 of a second or so, half a second, to decide what you want to swing at or where the ball is going to be. And then when it starts moving, makes it even more difficult.
1-2 pitch. Feliz was 74 out of 84 save wise as a closer. Had the kind of numbers that real good closers have, and he was. Now as a starter, he's already thrown a complete game. It was a loss, though, to the Tigers. 3-2 loss. Chopper up the middle. Shortstop over. That's a base hit. Well, Marquez will start the fourth with a single. Nick is on. You see some strange numbers for Nick Marquez with nobody out, 1 out, and with 2 out, leading to a 228 overall.
Yeah, I don't know how you even. I saw those numbers today, and I'm going, no rhyme or reason to them. You know, with runners on, a lot of times, obviously, if you're a left-handed hitter, not that he's a pull hitter, but if you hit with a lot of guys on first, the ground ball that might be an out if nobody's on sometimes goes into right field. But we talked about speeding up to bat. That was a changeup that he was able to bounce into center field. So maybe the Orioles can get on the board.
Jones with a big cut, trying to do it on one swing of the bat. Right there. For Adam, he drew a walk and was stranded his first time up. Hitting at .297. 8 home runs and 17 RBIs. He had been on base 14 consecutive games until taking the offer in the ball game last night. Adam against Feliz, just 1 for 1. 0-2 count. 4 strikeouts on the board for Feliz, who averaged just under a strikeout per inning pitched as a reliever. And a little lob toss over first base that didn't look all that good.
Well, that's another factor. You know, you start factoring in, depending on, of course, if it's a 1-run, 2, 3-run closing situation, you usually don't have to hold runners on. Fielding your position doesn't. So all those things come into play, but against did all those things and did them well in the minor leagues coming up.
Here's the 0-2 delivered to Jones. He'll fight that one away. Napoli has thrown out 3 of 8. He shares with Torrealba. Their catches have done a good job combined. 7 out of 18. There's not been a lot of running against this Texas staff so far.
Don't you think the leads might have something to do with that?
Not going to take chances on making outs on the base paths when you're down 5, 6, 7, nothing. 2 strikeout. And a chopper towards short. Andrus, Kinsler, quick relay will not be in time. Force out. Fielder's choice, 1 down. Matt Wieters will be coming up. Take a look at our Hollywood Casino League leaderboard. These are the RBIs as a catcher. Pierzynski on top with 18. Matt Wieters was 17. Matt actually has one more than that, but that came as a DH. Arancibia, Santana, Mauer, Saltalamacchia on that list. Slots, tables, and dining, the ultimate triple play at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. Wieters inside, pick off Napoli. Wandering pretty well off the bag that time, Jones. But Adam back. Wieters popped out his first time up, 1 for 5 in the 2 games. Matt will foul that off the other way. Not getting around the Oriole hitters, and understandably so, on his fastball.
Yeah, Matt got a ball out over the plate, but just popped it up. That was the Orioles' only chance with a runner at second base. Hardy blasted one off the top of the wall in right center.
Feliz with a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Wieters will take that away. Working on 6 days rest for Feliz. They had a rain problem that shuffled their rotation a bit. And for Mr. Maddox, their pitching coach, doesn't mind that at all, especially for Feliz. Here's the 2-1. towering fly ball to right. Cruz has just got to wait for this to come down. And there are 2 away. Tune into the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report tomorrow. It'll be 5 to 6:30. Tom Davis, Mel Antonin, Dave Johnson, Phil Wood. All the latest Oriole news and notes tomorrow at 5. Right here on Massey.
Yeah, the Rangers are built to play all the way to the end of October. So if you're looking at Feliz as a possible starter, they don't mind throttling back on the innings.
Yeah, you wonder what they'll do at some point if they've got a decent lead in the West. And when he starts getting up there, as we said, he threw only 62 innings as a closer last year, as you would expect, coming in for just 1 inning at a time. Whether as he gets up there, do they skip him maybe in the rotation?
Well, I think that's, they moved Matt Harrison into his regular day, and so we'll see. I mean, they're already talking about Steven Strasburg. The Nats off to a great start, but they're going to try to protect him. So you get a lot of pitches to hit, or at least it seems like fastballs, but they're 95, 97, 94 with movement. And again, it's just hard to center. It's hard to speed up the bat when you throw that hard. It kind of reminds me of what, of course, Doc Gooden had that big overhand curveball, but the bat speed was minimal when Gooden won 24 and lost 4. You were doing the games. They just couldn't center him.
And that pitch will miss, and a 1-ball-1-strike count on Davis. Struck out his first time up. He's now 0 for his last 12. And the K's, of course, really started piling up in that Red Sox series. 1-ball-1-strike. And that'll be fouled off again the other way. Jones will go back to first base.
And that was an 88-mile-per-hour changeup.
Only 24 years old. Who knows what's in store for him? You don't see many starters who come in with a career record of 8 wins, 7 losses, and 74 saves.
They put him in the bullpen when he was 22.
1-2 delivery, and it'll be taken away. Chris Davis evens the count up, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And again, part of the Mark Teixeira trade back in 2007. That was genius. Teixeira wasn't going to re-sign. You get Matt Harrison, you get your shortstop, you get your closer, now starter. You got Sultan Lamakia, who you traded.
That one, the changeup goes to center. Hamilton is there, and he's got it. Orioles are retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. 4 complete. The rookie, 9 RBIs in his first 4 ML games, tying a league record. Brandon Snyder last night here, the first rookie with 6 RBIs in 1 game since Danny Espinosa did it in 2010. And what does Brandon Snyder get as a return? He gets to sit on the bench the next game. And Daisuke Matsuzaka 4 2/3 innings, no runs for Pawtucket. His recovery, rehab underway. 3rd of 5 rehab starts after elbow surgery. They are hoping that he's going to get back and be effective again.
Yeah, throw a lot of pitches. Nibble had a neck problem. That's kept him. There's Brandon Snyder from Chantilly, Virginia. So a lot of his friends knowing he was playing. Nice little 2-run single, 3-run home run, 6 RBIs. Neat little night.
Against the team that traded you away. Yeah. Here is Elvis Andrus, and a ground ball down to 3rd. That's a foul ball. So can Andrus do it again? He came up in the 1st inning, got a walk, home run Hamilton. Came up in the 3rd inning, a single, home run Hamilton. He leads off the 5th inning with Hamilton on deck. Andrus now with the 8-game hit streak.
Well, we were talking about it last night. Got bigger, stronger. I mean, did it on purpose. And Ron Washington, his skipper, encouraged him to do it because, again, this is a team built to play more than just 6 months. And only 23. I think the one thing we don't get to see him play, he looks like he's a pretty good shortstop, but did make 25 errors in the 2011 season. And you can see that 8-game hitting streak, close to 500.
Arrieta's pitch all the way to the backstop on it. With the hits he's picked up tonight, 37 on the year. He's among the top 10 in hits in the American League. 2-2 delivery to him. That'll be put up in the air. Markakis. And that is going to be the first out recorded against Arrieta in the air. The other 11 have come on the ground. 28th Orioles Legends Celebration Series, April 28th. It started. Frank Robinson, only the beginning. You can still get tickets for the Orioles Legends Celebration Series package. Lock in your ticket. 5 remaining. You'll receive the replica Frank Robinson sculpture in case you missed it. To reserve your seat, 888-848-BIRD. Go to Orioles.com/legends. Josh Hamilton can't hit a home run now because Elvis Andrus is not on base. He's never had a 3-homer game. He's got 4 RBIs, 2 home runs in this one. 1-0 delivery. He was going for it.
Yeah, but not on that changeup. Both of them appeared to be fastballs. I know the last one was. I'm not sure if maybe the first one wasn't a high slider, but got behind him and just took him the other way. That's not a first. We've seen that before. Tremendous power. Remember when Hank Blaylock was their 3rd baseman and Hamilton got traded from Cincinnati? He goes, stupid power. I said, what? He said, unbelievable power.
And that one launched in the air to right center field. That's going to take a hop and go off the wall. Hamilton's going to go into second base with a double. A 3-hit ball game, all 3 extra base hits.
Yeah, just a looping hook. He hangs it, and that's not going to get Josh Hamilton out. Watch how this ball stays up. I mean, boom, he sees it. It doesn't change plane. Certainly changes directions. That's the original hanging curveball. I mean, watch the extension. And then he top spins it. Otherwise, it goes out of here.
That'll be his 6th 3-hit ball game. And 4 doubles on the year for Hamilton. Now Beltre, he also has a home run, his 6th of the year. Got him back-to-back with Hamilton in the 3rd inning. Hamilton accounting for 4 of the 5 and Beltre the other. All of the runs have come on home runs. 1 down. Andina will hold Hamilton towards second. Beltre with a 1-0 delivery. Beltre now has 2 home runs off Jake Arrieta. The only 2 hits he's had against him. 2 for 6 and both homers. Arrieta up to 77 pitches thrown and 7 hits against him. Very efficient offense tonight. Texas has left only 2 on base. They've gotten them on, gotten them in. And a big cut by Beltre, 1 and 2.
Yeah, we first saw Adrian Beltre when he signed the long-term deal and came to the Mariners, but always seemed to have injuries. And then before last year, when he was with Boston, and looked like he was a totally different hitter. Used the whole field, still hit home runs. And then a great year for the Rangers in his first year in Texas.
He's dealing with the hamstring problem in the left leg that has really slowed him down, but has not affected his hitting. And here in the if you count this game, the last 7 games against the Orioles, he's gone 11 for 27 with 4 home runs and 10 RBIs in 7 games against the O's. Here's the 2-2 delivery and a swing and a miss on that one. 2 strikeouts now for Arrieta.
Well, Jake, it's not, his stuff has been fairly good. His location has been off on about 5 or 6 pitches tonight. That's good fastball outside corner. 93 with good movement. The Orioles have been out hit, and to this point Jake has been out pitched because Feliz has been that good.
Here is Michael Young. Young has reached on an error, grounded out. 2 down now with the runner at second base. Slow roller third base. Betemit barehanded, running throw. Nice play. Will get the out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base. Texas on top here at Camden Yards. Another, and as a result, the Rangers here in game 2 of this 4-game set have taken the 5-0 lead. Neftali Feliz, a closer turned starter on the mound, shutting out the Orioles. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer back with you. Jim and I were just talking about which is tougher, closer to starter, starter to closer.
Well, I don't think, for Neftali Feliz at 24, just turned 24, he was a starter in the minor leagues. Now, if you go back and we'll talk about Hall of Famers, Fingers was a starter in the Hall of Fame as a reliever. Dennis Eckersley won 20 games, ended up having 392 saves or whatever it was. Going to the bullpen, John Smoltz was a starter, and again, not in the Hall of Fame yet, but it's going to get there, even though he won 27 games. So I think if you have good ability, and Feliz got a wonderful arm, easy delivery, looks like he's pretty athletic. I don't think he's going to have a problem doing it. I think it's just a matter of pacing yourself. And again, the longer he stays out there, they're been adding runs tonight.
And the best part for him probably is the fact he always had 3 pitches. He had the slider, fastball, changeup. He just, as we said, when he became a closer, he dumped the changeup for the most part. Now he's been able to go back to it, and he's still got it, still works. So doesn't have to worry about trying to find that extra pitch. Here is Wilson Betemit. For Betemit in the ball game, he has popped out. It'll be the bottom third of the order for the Orioles, and Betemit fouls that one right straight back, and quickly a 2-strike count from Feliz.
Yeah, I think a different philosophy. You don't want to get beat on secondary pitches when you're closing, and when you're a starter, if you're going to go through the lineup 2, 3, 4 times. You need to use all your pitches. I mean, Dennis Eckersley said, and he changed when he got traded out to Oakland. Tony La Russa was the manager, and great quote was, "It's a lot easier to get a guy out once than it is 3, 4 times," which was asked of starting pitchers back in the, I guess, 70s, 80s, 90s.
And that pitch is going to be taken. Ted Williams always said that one of the keys for him in being a great hitter was that he got to see the same pitcher for 4 at-bats in a ball game, and that third time around at least he could figure it out and come up with a couple of hits, and if he got a 5th at-bat, come up with 3. Nowadays, hitters rarely have the opportunity to do that because starters generally are not in there but for maybe 3 at-bats, and in many games only 2. 1 ball, 2-strike count. Betemit. Delivery by Feliz will be up high. Feliz has walked 1, struck out 4. Arrieta has walked 1 and struck out 2. 5 runs, 7 hits for the Rangers. No runs and only 2 hits for the Orioles. And a big cut and missed it.
Well, there's your changeup. So again, it's about 8 miles per hour slower. And again, as it turns out, he makes a great pitch with it. Same arm angle, same arm speed. And Wilson Betemit out in front of it. I mean, bat head well in front of it. Just got fooled on the arm, and that's what sells the changeup.
He has had as many as 6 strikeouts in a game this year. That came against the Yankees. He now has 5 in this game. So for Betemit, that's 20. For Feliz, rather, that's 23 strikeouts that he has picked up in the 31 innings worked.
I think he's smart enough, or Napoli's smart enough, or Mike Maddox smart enough to get him to understand that his stuff's good enough. You don't have to try to strike people out, but we've seen it with Arrieta. We've seen it with a lot of good young pitchers. It's nice to be able to, when you need a strikeout, able to get it.
1 ball, 1 strikeout. Mark Reynolds, and he went around on that one. Reynolds grounded out his first time up. Orioles have left 3 on base, only 1 in scoring position. Best chance first inning, first and third, 2 down when Wieters popped out. Since then, they've not had a runner beyond first base. Here's the 1-2 pitch and foul back by Reynolds.
Yeah, one of the few mistakes he's made all night as far as hittable pitches, and you could see him. And he's not happy with it because he hung a slider. And he was lucky that Mark Reynolds did not hit that ball out of the ballpark. There's your pitch count.
Here's the 1-2 delivery, and Reynolds will go down swinging. 6 Ks, 2 in the inning.
All right, just a little high gas. See if you can hit it. And again, it's on the outside quarter of the plate. Up and away. As we told you, Mark Reynolds has been hot. This will cool a lot of people off. What did Ron Washington say today? He said, I wanted my team to reassert themselves. Boy, did they do that last night and early on tonight, trying to do it again.
Just putting foot down just a little bit, letting him know weren't playing the way he wanted them to play with those 3 consecutive series losses. Andino, the 0-1 delivery to him's taken down low. Robert Andino, he struck out his first time up. Feliz, a couple of strikeouts in the 3rd inning, and 2 more here in the 5th. Here's the 1-1 delivery, and Andino a big cut and misses, and it goes to 1-2.
Now he's got all the pitches. At the end of the day, you still, if you're hitting off of Naftali Feliz, you got to look for the fastball and hope that he doesn't dot the I's with a breaking ball. And that one he got underneath, and still got to understand how young he is at 24. Just turned May 2nd, turned 24.
He's so effortless out there. He almost looks like a batting practice pitcher. The results aren't, but the motion is he's so easy with his windup and delivery. 2 ball, 2 strikeout with 2 down. Nobody on here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, and that's in the outside corner. That's 7 strikeouts, so that's going to be a new high for him this season, and he protects the big Texas lead.
Rangers really kind of taking a page from last night's book. Hamilton with a 2-run shot. And then another 2-run shot off of Jake Arrieta. Beltry will get a high slider, go the other way. Forget that sore left hamstring. That makes it 5-0 at the time. That's the way it stays. Of course, Josh Hamilton now 10 home runs in his last 19 games. And Feliz just kind of cruising along, throwing in the mid-90s, and already 7 strikeouts with only the 1 walk.
12 homers by Hamilton, now leading Granderson. Encarnacion and Danu have 9. Feliz a new career high in strikeouts with 7. And only 1 walk in the ball game. Jake Arrieta. Ball put up in the air by Murphy to left field. Andy Chavez meandering over. He will put it away. Don't forget our PNC postgame show, brought to you by PNC Bank. For the achiever in you, tune in. The analysis from Jim Rick and Jim Palmer will join them. Buck Showalter will hear from him in his press conference, and player interviews all coming up after the ball game. Those extra. Young fan on hand here. Couldn't be happier. German, don't get down. Glass half full. Like my shirt. Oh boy. Got you now. Here's Nelson Cruz. And a breaking ball into him. He is singled. And into a fielder's choice. 4 hits in the series now. 4 for 6.
Well, you're finding how competitive Jake Arrieta is. And again, stuff hasn't been as bad as the score might tell you.
That's a basic.
But look at that. I mean, that's a fastball at 93 down and away. And Cruz just goes with it. You mentioned it last night. He was struggling. He had come in 2 for 22, 3 for 4 last night. And again, a couple of hits tonight. And what did his manager say? Use the whole field. Because with him, again, he can hit the ball out in right center field, especially in Texas, which is looks like a big ballpark till the game starts.
Yeah. And the balls start flying around.
Oh, yeah.
So Cruz, he's back. That's 5 hits now in the series for him. Here's Napoli 0 for 2. Couple of balls to the ground. 1 for a double play. Not this one. Rainmaker to right field. Arquegas coming in. 2 down. So there are a lot of ground ball outs early. 11 ground ball outs before. Arrieta recorded a fly ball out, and now it's turned around the other way as the fly ball outs have started to build up a little bit for him.
Well, what I said, again, it's only been a bad pitch in the first, bad pitch in the third, high slider right after that to Beltry. So there's been about 4 or 5 bad pitches. They're going to get their hits. But again, the big fly, that's what really kills you. All the run scoring on home runs tonight. And he's going to end up pitching maybe 7, 8 innings tonight. Yep. So sound like Jake's having a horrible night. It's just he's been out pitched, and then the Rangers are good.
And there are 2 down, nobody on. Here's Moreland hitting 9th. He's grounded out twice in the game. Runner at first base. For Moreland, by hitting safely in 9 out of the last 10 ball games, he's been able to get his average up 139 to 279. His batting average has risen over the last 10 ball games.
Yeah, he was hurt last year and still had a good year. The 16 home runs, which is more than the year before. Had the right wrist surgery, little nodule taken out in December. But again, when you can get a young guy, you get him somehow in the 17th round of the draft, and he has on base percentages of 400, 421, 18 home runs, walking a lot, not striking out a lot. Last year's the most, and again, he had the bad wrist. 92 strikeouts.
Orioles with a shift on, perfectly played. That's Hardy, the shortstop, on the second base side to get the out in a good inning. Again for Arrieta, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Orioles need offense. Action as game 3 of this 4-game set. We'll have Wei and Chen taking the mound against Colby Lewis. Our coverage on MASN HD 6:30 O's Extra, presented by Jeep, followed by our game coverage at 7. All the access you need right here on MASN.
Well, there you go. Chen has pitched extremely well coming over from Japan via Taiwan, and Colby Lewis off to a good start. He seems to always pitch well in the postseason for the Rangers.
And away inside to Andy Chavez.
I think if my memory serves me correctly, the last time the Orioles won, and that was back in a doubleheader, and this ball almost gets him up and in. Did it get the uniform? Yes, it did. But he's not going to first. That's when you rub your ribs. But the last Ranger pitcher they beat was Colby Lewis. A couple of home runs down the right field line here. And the difference in that game.
Andy Chavez takes it up high. Chavez has struck out twice in the ball game, joining Andino, the number 1 and number 9 hitters, both with Ks in their 4 combined appearances. That one's in the gap to left center field, and that's going to roll to the wall. Chavez on his way to second base, and the Oriole fans get to make a little noise. A leadoff single. Second time the Orioles have had the leadoff man on.
Yeah, the
double, rather.
Well, 2-0, you could see a second double, but again, one of the few times Feliz has gotten behind and takes a little off to throw a strike. Nice approach. This is what Endy did for him last year. Talk about the Rangers hitting over 300, hit 11 home runs. So somebody's got to start the party. And Chavez is able to do it his 3rd time up after striking out consecutive times up.
6 in a row had been retired by Neftali Feliz. Here's Hardy, a double in the 1st inning, and he has popped out. Orioles now have the 3 hits in the ball game. Well, let's see if the Orioles take advantage of it. Shortstop Andrus playing way over, giving Hardy the shortstop hole. Now backs off a little. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Hardy a breaking ball, and that's in there for a strike on the slider.
Yeah, the early runs again for the Rangers, 2 in the first, 3 in the 3rd, but 3 shutout innings by Arrieta. If you get some on the board, at least you get Feliz out of there.
Towering pop up towards the seats, and that is going to be a foul ball. For Oriole alerts you can't miss, including the starting lineups and in-game updates, text Orioles 29292. Hardy with a single, double rather, and 1 for 2 in the ball game is 9 for his last 14. That's where that average got pumped up. You just saw down the line, and a foul ball.
Well, we have seen J.J. Hardy get hot when he's using the whole field. Early on, pulling off balls, not lately. I was talking to him yesterday. I said, boy, when you're pitching and somebody starts hitting quality pitches, that's pretty annoying. It's hard to get him out.
He's doing that right now. 1-2 delivery to him, and that's going to be inside. Feliz not wanting him to extend his arms. Came in underneath them that time. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Orioles have left only 2 on, both in the 1st inning. 2-2 delivery on the way, and a ground ball toward short off the mound, played by Andrus to first. Orioles will get a runner over to 3rd base. 1 away.
Yeah, the type of game that they will concede a run with a 5-run lead. I don't know if J.J. wanted to do that, but it works out well. Pretty good breaking ball that Feliz is able to get over.
That'll bring up Nick Markakis. Orioles had an 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position in the 1st inning. That, prior to right now, the only chances they've had in that department, and Nick Markakis had one of those after a Hardy double. He grounded out. Runner now at 3rd base. Markakis will take it for a strike. He is singled and grounded out.
Yeah, when I used to get in these situations, and you know Nick wants to get a ball in the air, any ground ball other than back to the pitcher is going to score a run. I would be thinking, if I get ahead, I'm thinking strikeout, because I don't want to give up that run. And that's exactly what he does.
On the fist.
Yep. So he's going to go hunt for the strikeout, and Nick's just trying to put a ball in play other than a pop-up. The Orioles are going to get a run.
5-0 ball game. The Orioles have not been shut out this year. Neither have the Rangers. Feliz with the 0-2 delivery. And that one's going to go into the corner. He got into the wheelhouse on that one. Markakis will head to second base. Nope, got to come back. Good play made by Cruz to get it in. RBI. Andy Chavez scores, and it is a 5-1 ball game.
Well, Nick Markakis once again back-to-back hits on off speed after Feliz threw the ball by him. For some reason he tried to trick him. Nick gets a great pitch to hit and doesn't miss it. They're trying to come in, and it just hangs right in the middle of the plate. And great pitch for Nick, horrible pitch for the Rangers. You see the extension, bat head gets out in front. Normally it's a double, but Cruz gets to it so quickly. He does have a good arm.
So Markakis now has a dozen RBIs on the year. Here's Adam Jones, has walked it into a fielder's choice. Puts it in the air to right center. This will be Cruz. Runner halfway. Jones retired. He's 0 for 2 and a walk in the game. For every Orioles walk this season, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield will contribute $50 to support the American Heart Association Heart Walk. To date, the Orioles have drawn 82 walks, total of $4,100. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Feliz up to 94 pitches, still throwing easily and throwing lots of strikes.
And we know how good a bullpen only came with a better bullpen, the Orioles. How about Orgando last night? I know it was a big lead and all that. It was unbelievable.
Well, he's like Feliz to me.
Yeah.
He comes out with that easy rocking chair delivery and just blows your way.
Yeah, throws 96 and great breaking balls on the corner.
1-0 count. Matt Wieters, he'll take it up high. And the count will go to 2-0.
I mean, the Orioles come in at 19-10, and you go back and you look at, they started in New York. There you got Mariano Rivera, who since has been hurt, but then you had Dave Robertson. They win 2 out of 3 there. Then you had Aceves looking like Cy Young up there, throwing 97 in Boston. Pretty good pitching they faced, especially at the back end of bullpens.
And maybe a sign that gas tank's running down a little bit.
Yeah,
as that's a 3-0 count.
Yeah, they're scurrying around. You see Blue Jackets moving. And Mike Maddox doing a little phoning.
And that will be in there taken. And a 3-ball, 1-strike count. So Feliz trying to get his way through the 6th inning. Andy Chavez leadoff double is scored. Runner at first, Markakis, and a 3-ball, 1-strike count on Wieters. There goes the runner, and that is swung on and fouled off. Closers have really taken some hits this year. It's an interesting article, SportsIllustrated.com, that talked about it. But we talked about Mariano, of course, is down. Scott Downs, bone bruise, left knee out of Sunday's game. They don't have Jordan Walden, their closer, back. LaTroy Hawkins hit on the pinky. They're down to 4th on the closer list. Padres, Houston Street placed on the DL on Sunday. He's got a strained shoulder. The Marlins have Heath Bell temporarily moved to middle relief. Carlos Marmol of the Cubs struggling. Runner goes, and that's a walk. This has not been a season for those who are closing, 1, to stay healthy, and 2, to be effective.
Yeah, Brian Wilson had to have Tommy John surgery of the Giants. So, yeah, a lot of stuff going on. And
a lot of jobs open, as Buck would say. One down is an opening for somebody else to try and jump in.
What really is, and I told you before the game, I was reading one of the magazine articles in ESPN. We're talking about since 1997, the Yankees going into the 9th inning with Mariano Rivera have won 97.2% of their games. The Pirates haven't had a winning season since 1997 and won 94.7. So not that much difference.
Well, we said on Sunday the article I talked about that Mark Viviano brought in, WJZ's own, about the 100-year research. 100 years checking the effect of having a closer. The result? None. It was the same percentage of games won 100 years ago if you had a lead going to the 9th as it's been since closers came into existence. Here's a big at bat. Chris Davis up. The Orioles have 2 on. They are trailing at 5-1. 2 down here in the 6th inning. 11,263. 11,263. Almost exactly the same as last night.
Now you'd like to have Chris Davis do a Josh Hamilton impression, because he does have power the other way. Maybe catch up with one.
And that one will just miss. He has struck out, flied out, 0 for 5 in the series, and 0 for his last 13. And he certainly can juice one, and he is due. Still hitting .284 in the year, 5 home runs, 14 RBIs. Feliz's delivery, and that's going to be outside, and no question Feliz is running out of gas. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count.
And you could just see it, because what happens, you know, where everything was free and easy, now it looks like he's trying to throw harder, arm not catching up, not getting out in front of him, and this inning's been about hitters counts.
Here's the 2-1 delivery to him, and going for it right there, 2-2.
See, if you take that pitch, it's 3-1. If you're struggling, which Chris is at this moment, that's only been about 5 games, you chase. Got to get strikes to hit. Well, you don't have to, but I mean, it makes it easier to hit.
2-2. Runners off first and second base. And Feliz has enough. He gets through it. His 8th strikeout of the ball game. The Orioles will get a run on a couple of hits, but leave 2 on. In you. Dana Evelyn, you see the numbers with Norfolk, 3-2 mark, very good ERA. First season with the Orioles, 28-year-old. He did pitch last night, did not allow a run in 5 innings. He was pulled out of the game after 63 pitches, perhaps because the Orioles are going to be using him Friday. Question mark. He's allowed 9 earned runs, 36 2/3 innings. He is not on the 40-man roster. So if they want to bring him up, they will have to make a reciprocal move.
And major league experience. 19-24 last year with the Dodgers. Just didn't see him. He said, I'm always not a good spring training guy. And I probably would have gone out anyway because of the 40-man roster situation. But I can't imagine he'll be down there very long.
Here's Ian Kinsler. Kinsler, leadoff batters, had an 0 for 3. He had a 2 for 6 in the ball game last night. Ranger record holder for leadoff home runs, 21. Most in the majors since he started leading off back in 08. This time, though, Arrieta's got him on a K.
Well, yeah, perfect pitch. And again, this has been a game of 4 or 5 bad pitches. That is the 5 runs. 2 of those home runs to Hamilton. Ill-advised 3-1 slider to Andrus to get Hamilton up, and right here just locks him. Thought about swinging, couldn't get the bat going.
1 away, 7th inning. Andrus, he has walked, singled, both times scoring ahead of the home runs by Hamilton, and he has flied out to right field. Elvis Andrus will take it outside for a ball, hitting at .316. Oriole bullpen action for the first time. Zach Phillips was called up today, the left-hander. First time the Orioles have had 2 lefties in the bullpen, with Troy Patton out there as well. Pitch number 93 by Arrieta, and that will be taken up high. Both bullpens active now as we are in the top of the 7th inning. Andrus with an 8-game hit streak. 2-0 delivery to him, and that'll be a swing on a miss. Arrieta a walk and 3 strikeouts with his 2-2 record, his 7th start. 1 win, 2 losses against Texas in his career.
Yeah, more sliders tonight than curveballs for Jake.
2-1 chopper. Foul ball, hit his foot on the way down. Rangers after their 20th win, as are the Orioles in this ball game tonight. Orioles coming in a tie, of course, for the division lead with Tampa Bay. That's going to be a base hit into right field. Boy. Not able to get him out of there, so 3 out of the 4 times up he's on, and he's got 2 hits. 2110 Utah Street, presented by Southwest Airlines, returns to Camden Yards Saturday, May 26. Birds will take on the Royals in a 4:05 matinee. For one low price, fans get the reserve Utah Street bleacher seat and exclusive 2110 t-shirt. Space is limited, so join in celebrating Nick Markakis and Adam Jones. And that will be it for Arrieta. He will come out of the ball game going 6 1/3 innings. Hamilton coming to the plate. He's got 2 home runs in the game. Responsible for the runner on at first base, and the first game in which he has surrendered 3 home runs in a start.
Had just a couple of ill-advised pitches to one of the best hitters in baseball. So Zach Phillips comes on. I mean, last year lefties 2 for 20. Well, I talked to him today. Those are the numbers. Now you can see lefties, well, not a great job, but last year he was terrific. The spring training, he was terrific. He had options. Troy Patton didn't. And, if they had tried to get Troy Patton through waivers, might have been claimed. So both of them now in the Oriole bullpen. And of course, Hamilton comes in hitting .375 against lefties with 3 of his home runs.
Phillips, 25 years old, 3 saves, pitching AAA Norfolk. Ball put up in the air to left field. Long run for Endy Chavez, and there'll be no play on it.
Yeah, he's way out in left center field, playing Hamilton to hit to the gaps.
For Phillips, he had a 4.15 ERA, 13 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, 9 games for the Tides this year. Orioles 10 games last season, and yet another acquired from Texas. So here's another player, the 7th player on the Orioles to receive an American League Championship ring. And he launches that one to center. Is it gonna be? Jones is back. Goodbye, home run. Hamilton has a 3-homer ball game, 6 RBIs. Elvis Andrus, the table setter for all 3, and a 7-1 lead.
Yeah, he could have hit 4 tonight. The other time he was up, hit a hanging curveball for a double. Well, he hits the big fly, and when you're that strong and you get a really good pitch to hit, I mean, watch this hanging slider. I mean, it's right in the middle of the plate. It's just a matter of will it stay in the ballpark, not when Josh Hamilton hits it. So a little 4-for-4 evening with 3 dingers.
His first 3-homer ball game. What a night for Josh Hamilton. 4 hits, 3 homers, 6 RBIs, and a 7-1 lead. And as we said, Andrus every time the one on base in front of him. So Zach Phillips makes his 2012 debut, and a homer delivered off him, and Texas really banging the ball around here tonight.
Yeah, breaking the ball to the wrong guy. You know, a mortal might have actually kept it in the park. Hit it high enough.
Yep. So 6 of the runs will be charged to Arrieta. Close his line for the night. 6 runs, 9 hits, 6 and a third innings. Beltre a home run. He's 1 for 3. Beltre with a big cut and not going to catch up with it. A 1-ball, 2-strike count. Beltre with a couple of hits against left-handers. 2 for 24. Hitting just 0.83 against the lefties. And boy, Texas pounding them out.
Yep. Well, 21 runs so far.
2 games.
Yeah. Well, not over either.
2, yeah. Beltre, 1-ball, 2-strike count. That's going to be ripped into left field, a base hit. Andy Chavez over to get it. And Beltre is on, still only 1 away. Time for our AT&T Mobility Trivia Fact. Stu Pomerantz became the 7th Oriole reliever in franchise history to throw 3 or more scoreless innings in his major league debut. Last night, Stu Pomerantz made his appearance out of the bullpen for the Orioles. Denny Martinez posted the longest scoreless debut by a reliever, 5 2/3 innings without giving up a run, September of '76 against the Tigers.
El Presidente. He would go on to win, I think, what, about 246 games, something like that. It's a nice little debut.
5 2/3, like a start. Michael Young on at first base. Beltre, his second hit. Young 0 for 3, has reached on an error. 11 hits in the game for the Rangers. And a swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike on Young.
He clubbed a home run, 3 RBIs last night, 2-run home run. What a hitter he's had. I mean, the career .323 hitter with runners in scoring position for your entire career.
1-1 in the air to center. Jones started back. Now will come in. Runner goes back, and there are 2 down. Well, our Auto Trader game flow. Andrus on, Hamilton out, 2 runs in. There it is. And Feliz shutting down the Orioles with just a run on 4 hits.
Yeah, I think they're going to go to their bullpen because, as you mentioned, he looked pretty exhausted in the 6th inning. But one of our keys, hang around. You hang around 6 innings, they're going to get you some run. They can swing the bat. They're not done. 19 hits yesterday with 14. You know, I'm looking at the box score and I'm saying, you know, if we were actually in Texas, we would have only been 7-3 because they would not have hit in the bottom of the 9th.
It's not only when you play them, it's where you play them.
So they had 7 in the top of the 9th here to make it go from 7-3 to 14 this week.
A 1-0 count on Murphy. Murphy is single, 1 for 3 in the ball game. Runner at first base, 2 down. He puts that one down the line in left. Andy Chavez will get over. Foul territory and not going to make the play. He did not get over.
Nope.
Was going to try and catch it on the run and ended up having to worry about the facade.
Yeah, he let the ball play him. He didn't play the ball. I mean, it's going to look like it's a real difficult play, and you know he's already over there, but he's just coasting. He thinks he's got it, and all of a sudden, so again, if you run hard, you're standing under it. And he knows that. A little late though.
A 1-ball-1-strike count. The at-bat kept alive for Murphy, and he'll cut it a ball down and away. Beltre with that bad hammy on at first base, and with a 7-1 lead, not going anywhere. He's got on a half a step lead over there.
Yeah, that was the breaking ball that you know the intention of Zach Phillips to Josh Hamilton, but he didn't get it there. Hung it.
1-ball-2-strike count, and came back inside on him. It's fouled away. Hamilton came into this ball game with the second highest batting average on the road this year in the American League, hitting at .407. With the 3 home runs he's hit tonight, he now has 9 home runs on the road, and with 4 hits, he's got 26 hits in 60 at bats on the road. And did it go? Check it third. Nope.
Yeah, if they can ever get Josh Hamilton, and we talked about it, they play him in left field, sometimes in center, try to. There's a propensity to running into walls. If he can ever get 600, 625 at bats, stay healthy, you just don't know what's going to happen. That's how good an impact type of player he can be.
2-2 delivery on the way. Murphy will take that, and Zach Phillips missed outside with it. So a 3-ball-2-strike count with 2 down. Beltre at first base will be more or less running as best he can with that bad hamstring problem. And Phillips will try and end the inning. 2 runs in so far in the 7th. Here's the 3-2 delivery, and that'll be inside. So Phillips walks him, and the inning goes on, and the ball not caught down the left field line, allowing that at bat to continue. Now runners at first and second base with 2 away, and that will bring up Cruz. Nelson Cruz with the 2 singles, 2 for 3, now 5 for 7 in the series against the Orioles, and his batting average starting on the way up again at .246.
Yeah, there's O'Day and Buck Showalter hoping that Phillips can be able to get Cruz out so you can save your bullpen.
Cruz hitting .314 off left-handers. Runners at first and second, and 2 down. And that one in the air to right field. Marquega's coming over near the line, not going to get it. Drops in, and Beltre took off the 2 away, will easily score. Cruz gets the single, so he's got a 3-hit ball game. Picks up an RBI, and it is an 8-1 lead. So he goes down to second base.
Well, they're happy because they either hit him over the fence or they just get him inside the lines, and he just finds a safe haven off the end of the bat. Did it again last night, sliced one down into the corner. Well, once again, Cruz using the whole field and having a lot of success. The high slider he hit off of Jake Arrieta, so a couple of singles and a double.
This will be the 8th batter up for Texas here in the 7th. It'll be Napoli, who's 0 for 3.
And they're going to walk him because you're 1 swing away from a 3-run home run. It's almost back to the screen.
Cruz does 13 RBIs now, and tough entry back to the major league level for Zach Phillips. Pitch will be outside. Napoli with Moreland, the left-hander, waiting on deck.
Well, it's going to sound like an excuse. It may not be much of one, but the balls are different. They're much different seams. So again, if you're not overpowering, Birkin not overpowering. He got lunched last night. Everything was flat. And if you're Zach Phillips, you're going to top out at 90. If the seams are a lot smaller down there, I mean, it seems they're higher. It seems like it's easier to throw a breaking ball if you feel the balls, or the ball rolling tonight.
So the base is loaded, 2 down, 3 runs in the 7th inning, and here's Moreland. Moreland's had an 0 for 3 in the game. He's 3 for 13, 1 home run off left-handers this year. The Orioles infield moves into the shift, and Zach Phillips with no place to put him. Try and get him out for the 3rd out. 8 runs on 12 hits for Texas. And the big count on the ball breaking away. No grand slams in his career, but 6 for 16 with the bases loaded. Moreland this season has gone 1 for 2 in these situations with a base hit. And Moreland swings through that one. Came back in on him 0-2.
Yeah, Zach Phillips, as we mentioned, comes over last July the 21st, and the Nick Green trade, but 23rd round draft pick by the Rangers, and starter early on, and then probably about 4 or 5 years into his career with the Rangers, they put him in the bullpen. Matchup guy.
2-strike delivery on the way to Moreland. And,
wow, where was that?
Started around, didn't get the call.
Yeah. Let's see if it's inside. Well, didn't appear to be.
Pretty good pitch.
Yeah, looked like the perfect fastball inside corner.
Murphy, Cruz, Napoli, the base runners. Here's the 1-2. Off the end of the bat, popped up. Second base. It's the shortstop, Hardy, over, and he will put it away. So the Rangers bat around in the 7th inning. They will add 3 7th inning stretch time at Camden Yards. Offense just pounding away, and obviously for the Oriole players another tough one because Jim, they wanted to measure themselves against maybe the best team in the American League, and for the first 2 games at least so far the measurement hasn't been very good.
Yeah, and you know, we've been around the game long enough. I mean, I played forever, it seemed like, and we broadcast. You've been around some really good teams. They are the gold standard. You know, Ron Washington talked about reasserting yourself as the team, maybe the best team in the American League, maybe the best team in baseball. They've done that. And you got to kind of admire. I mean, you admire Josh Hamilton. How often do you get to see a guy hit 3 home runs? I don't care if they're hanging fastballs, hanging breaking balls, but they have good pitching. They can beat you 3 or 4 different ways. And again, it's only 2 games. I mean, you're not even in these games. You know, you're certainly the effort. Arrieta hung in there. But at the end of the day, you know, probably not going to win tonight. You got to come back and play better, and not always easy to do against a team as good as Texas.
That part of testing where you are is the ability to be able to come back and get things done, and you do have 2 more games after this one, and you still got some innings in this one to try and make a rush at it. But right now, Texas is dominating.
Yeah, and this is what baseball is all about. We get to see Koji come in, and you know, again, pitching very well for them. Strike thrower.
Koji O'Hara's towards the back of the bullpen for this team, believe it or not. I say believe it or not because when you take a look at the numbers, for most teams he'd be at the front of the bullpen. He's been almost unhittable.
Oh, he's going to throw it over, and what's he gone 27 appearances. Looking at the notes yesterday that without walking anybody. How often did we see a first pitch split-fingered fastball? It's usually about 88. There's another one, 2 in a row.
Wilson Betemit leading it off against him. He has popped out and struck out. Feliz goes the solid 6 innings and gives up only 1 run, 4 hits. He had 2 walks and a career-high 8 strikeouts in the ball game for Neftali Feliz. The run differential for the Orioles first 28 games was a +34. The last 2 games a -18. That will go to center field. Hamilton is there. And O'Hara will get the first out here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen him, especially out of the bullpen, throw 4 splitters in a row. But that's what he does. Usually he will get ahead with a fastball. 88 will look like 98 because he jumps at you. The ability to ride that fastball that looks hittable, but hitters will tell you it's tough to gauge.
Koji O'Hara, the lefties, hitting 2 for 18. That's 111. Right-handers 2 for 14. That's 154. 27 consecutive appearances, as Jim was mentioning, without issuing a walk. That's 23 innings that he's pitched now. And he has now retired 16 straight over his last 6 outings. As Koji O'Hara really adding some depth to their bullpen. Here's Reynolds, who has struck out and grounded out. Bottom of the 7th inning, an 8-1 ball game. The Rangers are on top. O'Hara's delivery to him, and that'll be swung out and missed, and it goes to 1-2. Reynolds hitting at 185 to be followed by Andino. Texas trying to make it 7 consecutive wins against the Orioles. And a tapper foul.
Yeah, Koji gets traded over to the Rangers on the division postseason roster. Same with the championship, but not the World Series. They would beat the Rays in the division and then beat the Tigers to get to the World Series, where they lost to the Cardinals.
He may get another chance at the postseason the way this team's playing.
Well, they're built to go there. They spent over $108 million for you, Darvish. Take C.J. Wilson's spot. Tried to sign him, but he went to the Angels.
2-2 delivery, and that'll be fouled away. Certainly has to be an added edge on for Texas within 1 strike twice of winning the World Series and seeing it go by the boards, with Mr. Freese delivering for St. Louis. David Freese, the MVP, coming out of nowhere. Here's the 2-2 delivery to Reynolds, and that'll be fouled back. 3 foul balls, and the count remains 2-2.
And a lot of people, again, it's a long way to the barn, but they think Darvish has got the capabilities of being a #1 guy, and they don't really have that, or didn't have it last year. So maybe that will make a difference. He's in the middle.
2-2 in the air to right field. Cruz does just that, and we'll put it away. Reynolds retired. 2 down here in the 7th inning. You can vote for the 2012 All-Star Game at Orioles.com. And in honor of Camden Yard's 20th anniversary season, vote at least 20 times online. You can actually go up to 25 votes if you'd like, and select those you believe deserve to go to Kansas City. Orioles.com/All-Star. Matt Wieters certainly looks like he ought to be in KC for the All-Star break. That's a base hit for Andino. His first hit. 1 for 3 in the ball game, and the Orioles have their 5th hit. Orioles have left 5 on in the game, only 2 of those in scoring position, as Feliz went through the lineup, retiring 5 or 6 in a row, then maybe a walk, then maybe a hit. Got in trouble a little in the 6th inning when he gave up the double to Endy Chavez and the 1-out single to Markakis, the only run against him.
That got behind Endy 2-0, and he slashed a double up the gap.
And here he is again. Chavez has struck out twice, doubled, and scored the lone Orioles run. Koji O'Hara, quick look at first. That ball will be put in the air. Never good news when that is said with Endy Chavez. And that will be handled by Kinsler at second base. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on, 7 complete. games, you have won a total of $800 from the Maryland Lottery. For your chance to be the Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, play Strike It Rich scratch-offs and enter your non-winning ticket codes at mdlottery.com/strikeItRich. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer here at Camden Yards, right back here tomorrow night. Hope you'll get out and see the O's against this Texas team. Wei-In Chen against Colby Lewis for tomorrow.
Another former Ranger comes on. I mean, he had incredible years, 2009, 2010 with him last year, but injured the left hip labrum. So he's been awfully good. You can see lefty's not hitting that well. The Red Sox got a couple of uninherited runners on, but the only run he's given up is you got to go all the way back to the 9th of April when Andrew Jones hit a solo home run down the left field line here at Camden Yards. So coming in really just to get some outs and keep the Rangers where they are and getting a little bit of work.
Zach Phillips returns in relief. He worked the 1 inning, gave up the 2 runs on 3 hits with 2 walks and no strikeouts. Now the right-hander goes to work, top of the order. Texas battered around in the 7th inning. Kinsler started the inning by striking out. It was the single by Andrus that started that 3-run 4-hit 7th. And he will take the pitch up high for a ball. And a 1-ball 1-strike count on Kinsler. Kinsler with a couple of hits, 10 at-bats in the first 2 games of this 4-game set against Texas. Here's the 1-1. The day's pitch is fouled back, and there'll be no play on it.
And he kind of jokes about it. It's not going to get much better than 85, but movement and got the breaking ball into lefties, away from righties. Traditional breaking ball usually goes down. His has the illusion it's going up.
1-2. Kinsler takes that to left field. Andy Chavez was deep, and that will fall in front of him. So there's the first hit of the ball game for Kinsler. Time to text your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. And if this one isn't Josh Hamilton, it's not Josh Hamilton. It could be Neftali Feliz, who had a solid 6 innings. Hamilton, who's had a 3-homer, 6 RBI ball game, or Nick Markakis, who's had a couple of singles RBI. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, 31826. 3 home runs given up by Arrieta, 6 runs, 9 hits, 6 1/3 against the Orioles starter. First time he has surrendered 3 home runs in a ball game. Elvis Andrus, the cause of all of that by getting on base ahead of Hamilton with a walk, a single, and another single. And each time he got on, Hamilton had a home run. Runner at first base. Here's the 1-0 delivery. A day's pitch grounded to third. Betamete, 1, relay, not in time. Davis off the bag to save it from going into the dugout. So Andrus on with a fielder's choice. Our Burger King game flow has been about this man. Hamilton, home runs number 11, 12, and 13. Leads the American League in that department. And, of course, 6 RBIs tonight. And now he gets another shot for that rare 4-homer game. Career high in RBIs with a 6 he has put up. He'd had 5 twice before. And he was going to give it a run.
Well, Bobby Lowe was the first guy back in 1894. Ed Delaney, Louis Gehrig, that guy. Chuck Klein, Gil Hodges, Joe Adcock, Colavito, Willie Mays, Mike Schmidt. Pretty select group. Bob Horner, Mark White. Actually, I think it's Whitson. Mike Cameron did it. Sean Green did it. Carlos Delgado. Those are the guys. In fact, Rocky Colavito, I don't know if he did in Baltimore, but there was a when I first came up, they had a home run hitting contest. They froze the balls. Couldn't hit it out of the infield. Rocky was a great guy, but he got a little frustrated.
He didn't like not hitting home runs.
Best shot was with a frozen baseball was the shortstop.
How'd that feel on the hands? In the air to center. It is way back, and goodbye home run. Baseball history, a 4-homer ball game. Josh Hamilton and 8 runs batted in.
Well, nobody likes to get beat up like the Orioles are, but how often do you get to see this? 14 home runs. And they're going to be telling friends and family and children, I was there when he did it. That's just a line drive that went about 435. I would think it's safe to say he's locked in.
An amazing performance for Josh Hamilton tonight. That's a 5-for-5 game.
And that little two-seamer, look where the target is in launch position right here. Very much like the one he hit last night. So it's a combination of being real good and then getting real good pitches to hit.
Here's Beltre with a swing. It's one thing to say you use all the field. Generally, we're talking about keeping the ball in the ballpark. He's used all the field tonight, hitting the home runs. Left, right, 2 to center. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing to get 4.
And he just missed a 5th on that ball that he topspin for a double. A little 5-for-5 night.
Beltre with a 2-ball, 1-strike count, 1 down, and that pitch will miss.
You know, we're talking about staying healthy. His first year with the Rangers, he actually did stay healthy. Hit 32 home runs, but he drove in 130 runs that year. Got up over 600 times, and since then, either back or some kind of all over his fist there.
Hardy's got that one on the big hop, and will get the out. Beltre retired. So there are 2 down. We talked about the fact Hamilton would be buying the adult beverages and post-game dinner for Andrus. He named if Andrus has any children going to college, he may have that covered now. The 4-homer game, and Elvis Andrus on for all of it. Every time he got on tonight, Hamilton got a home run. Here's Michael Young. And Young will take it outside for a ball.
Yeah, you're right, because back in the 5th, there you go, Rocky Colavito. The one time he got out, he only hit a double.
Only.
And it was a line drive.
Michael Young's had an 0 for 4.
Well, look at it this way, Gary. Somebody has to make outs.
Sometime, at some point.
Well, no, we used to always tell, if we'd had a game like this, somebody be 0 for 5, and, you know, you'd put, what do they have, 14 hits, 19 yesterday. You go, hey, the game'd still be going if you didn't make it out. Of course, they didn't find that particularly humorous.
No,
but it's true.
It's all the support you get from your teammates in situations like this.
Well, it's a lot easier to joke about things when you're up 10-1 than when you're down 10-1.
2-ball, 1-strike count, 2 down. O'Day delivers to Young, and that'll be swung on and missed. So 3 home runs off Arrieta. Zach Phillips a home run, and O'Day giving up the home run. I mean, it's just been bombs away here in this ball game, with Beltre adding the other homer in the game. Hamilton with the 4. 2-ball, 2-strike count. And the delivery to Young, and that will be taken up high, and the count will go to 3-2. 5 home runs in the ball game against the Oriole pitching staff tonight, and for Buck Showalter, another long night. O'Day 3-2, 2 down. And a swing and a miss. O'Day will get the strikeout, getting Young, but a little history made by Josh Hamilton with his 4th homer in the inning. 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile. Live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at bat 31826 or go to Orioles.com for details. So baseball fans running to their record books to figure out all the numbers on Josh Hamilton for the night. Here's Robbie Ross on to pitch.
Yeah, their only left-hander in the bullpen. Boy, has he been good, too. 1 hit last 5 games, 25 batters faced it. When it comes to inherited runners, that's how you get your grade. You can see great against lefties, great against righties. So only 1 out of 10 inherited runners have scored. So Robbie Ross to the big leagues.
You'll have none to bother him in this start. Runners on, that is. Here's J.J. Hardy. Hardy with a double, 1 for 3 in the ball game as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Ross just 22 years old, and the left-hander's pitch will miss away. Carlos Delgado versus Tampa, the last 4-homer ball game, 2003, but there'll be lots of searching here regarding the fact all of the home runs for Hamilton were 2 RBI homers, an 8 RBI ball game. 2-1 delivery to Hardy, and that's going to miss away, and a 3-ball, 1-strike count.
Yeah, A-ball and double-A. So rushed to the big leagues. His dad, Chuck, actually a second-round selection by the Brewers back in 1995.
And a strike on the outside corner, and the count will go to 3-2.
Yeah, one of these young guys that starts in the minors. In fact, all those appearances in the minor leagues with the worst starts.
Hardy got a hold of that one to deep left field, way back near the wall, and goodbye, home run. Hardy's second hit of the ball game as he delivers the long ball for the Orioles.
Red hot.
And we'll make it a 10-2 ball game. That'll be home run number 7 on the year and RBI number 11.
So 10 for his last 16. Throw 3 home runs in there. Just missed another home run to right center with a double.
J.J. Hardy makes it 10-2. With the homer off the left-hander Ross, his second home run against the left-hander this year. And Nick Markakis with a swing.
Yeah, inside middle. That's in the zone for J.J.
Markakis will take the pitch up high for a ball. No, Hardy providing a little offense at least for the Orioles, and the first home run against Ross, and that may be another one. Markakis, goodbye, home run, back-to-back shots for the Orioles as Nick drives it just high enough to get it over the wall. Markakis picking up number 4 on the year, and 2 RBIs tonight, 13 on the season.
Yeah, all 3 hits coming on the breaking ball tonight. A little hanging slider. Nick says thank you very much. And now have 4 home runs on the year, and the Orioles have 3 on the board.
That's 3 hits for Nick in the ball game, a 3-for-4 night. Makes it a 10-3 game. The solo shots not coming when they need them.
Up a little 84-mile-per-hour slider, speeds up to bat, and he smokes it.
Nice catch. Fan handled that one. Never lost a drop. Here's Jones. He will take it down low. 0 for 2 and a walk tonight for Adam Jones. The Orioles now with 45 home runs on the season. 1-1 delivery by Ross, and that is going to be taken down low, and the count goes to 2-1.
Yeah, Robbie Ross. Last year they had Darren Oliver. They had Mike Gonzalez when he was traded. They also had Arthur Rhodes early as their lefties in the bullpen.
2-ball, 2-strike count on Adam Jones. Orioles, it's just the second time the Orioles have had the back-to-back homers. Reimold and Hardy had them against the White Sox this year. This time it'll be Hardy and Markakis. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Jones to second base. That's got spin. And reach at first by Moreland. And they get the out. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be produced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. They got the home runs, but not a lot to smile about.
Pretty much like last night.
Yep.
Yeah, better meet with a 2-run shot to right center. Andino got him on the board with a solo shot.
Here is Matt Wieters. Wieters has popped out, flied out, and drawn a walk.
And it's not easy to hit when you're getting trounced. Easy to lose your focus.
Up the middle, right through the wickets. Off Kinsler's glove and a base hit. So Wieters has a 9-game hit streak as he gets his first hit of the night, 1 for 3.
Yeah, another breaking ball in the middle of the plate. And last year, .339 hitter from this side of the plate. Kinsler can't come up with it. Hits so sharply.
So the young left-hander getting touched up here. And the Orioles picking up some hits, even though they trail by a score of 10-3.
He's finding out what happens when you live in the middle of the plate.
Davis fouls it away. Chris Davis has had an 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts in the ball game. Ross came in. We showed you the numbers that he'd put up with a 1.54 earned run average. And the pitch will be taken up high for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Orioles with a couple of runs in here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Runner at first base and fouled again by Davis, 1 and 2.
Yeah, Chris Davis would be the first guy to tell you going into that Sunday game felt pretty good. He was able to get his front shoulder, the steering wheel, his hip aligned with the pitcher and pulling off of everything. Can't cover the outside part of the plate.
1-2 in the hole. That's going to be a base hit. That'll move Wieters down to second base. And the Orioles have their 4th man out of 5 up in the inning on base.
And there's going to be another, Mike Maddox. Guys are scurrying around in their bullpen. Boy, he's made some bad pitches in this inning. Elvis Andrus saying, hey, throw one lone away or at me. Chris Davis with a nice at bat on a high slider. Took it the other way. Well, the old Ray Miller trick. Pitching coach, Ray, the longtime pitching coach, come out, put his hand on you. Kind of quiet down somebody in their first month in the big leagues. Whatever you say, sir.
So Ross with a little help from his friends there. Mike Adams will have to get up in the bullpen, something obviously Ron Washington would rather not have had to do, but got to be careful here. Try and get within that grand slam home run distance. Orioles not there, down 10-3, but 2 on, 1 away, and here's Wilson Betemit. And Betemit a ground ball towards short, played by Andrus. Kinsler relay, and there's what Ross needed. The Orioles will get a couple of runs on 4 hits. They leave 2 on. Orioles with the home runs by Hardy, his 7th, followed up by Markakis, his 4th, have made it a 10-3 ball game. brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Dodge. See your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive or go to Dodge.com and check out their powerful lineup. Orioles will go to the bullpen again. And here is Troy Patton.
Yep, a busy weekend in all 3 games up in Boston. So there are the numbers. He gave up the tying run double to Ortiz. They would tie it up. And then the Orioles would eventually win in 17 on the 3-run home run by Adam Jones off of a pitcher with not a lot of name recognition, Darnell McDonald, their center fielder.
Murphy will come to the plate. He is single, walked, struck out, and flied out. Exposito's working behind the plate now as Wieters has come out of the ball game, like Showalter as he did last night. Ryan Flaherty's come on to play at short. Hardy is out of the game. There's Exposito catching a new battery, just to try and give some playing time here, and that's going to be a base hit. So Murphy's on with his second hit of the game. 15 hits in the game for Texas.
Yeah, and David Murphy saying, what good fortune. I get another hittable pitch. There's something in the middle, inside middle, and he's all over it. I thought Buck Showalter talking about Ryan Flaherty, the Rule 5 guy. You have to keep him on the roster. He said he probably would have made the club anyway. And a lot of times Rule 5, you're just figuring, okay, we'll keep him here all year long, but he thinks he's going to be an everyday player at some point.
He believes in him. Matter of getting some time in. Here's Nelson Cruz. Cruz has already had a 3-hit ball game in RBI, 2 singles, and a double. The numbers for the Rangers against the Orioles are really getting gaudy. Not just this year, but going back to last year. 14 runs on 19 hits last night, 10 runs on 15 hits so far in the ball game tonight.
So we were talking about, again, they 60-15, the run differential, having won the last 5 straight, and then 4 of those games with 13 runs or more. That's all.
I mean, just last night alone, the Orioles run differential, which was 3rd best at 34 before the game started, went down to 23, and now it's going to drop, at the moment at least, by another 7. Runner off first, 2 ball, 1 strikeout on Cruz, and a nice pitch by Patton coming in. 2 ball, 2 strikes to Nelson Cruz. Cruz against the lefties, hitting .314 coming into the ball game. Orioles have used Zach Phillips, 2 runs, 3 hits, 2/3 of an inning. O'Day, 2 runs, 2 hits, an inning with 1 strikeout. That's going to be foul.
Well, certainly a lesson to be learned if you're pitching. I learned it. You throw balls in the middle of the plate to good hitting teams, it's not going to look good. You make good pitches, you got a better chance.
Fans booing. The ball was dropped, since this time they make sure. Andy Chavez tossed it to him, and he dropped it on the field. A 2 ball, 2 strike count. Patton's pitch to him on the inside corner.
Well, that's about as perfect as it gets. Esposito slides in, and then he hits the glove.
Mike Napoli stands in. Napoli, an intentional walk his last time up. Officially, he's got an 0 for 3 going, hitting .239 on the year, and that'll be swung on and missed. Napoli with a couple of hits in the series, 2 for 8 and an RBI. Runner at first base, the 0-1. We said they'd be at work on Josh Hamilton's record book, one of the numbers. Hamilton with 18 total bases in this ball game is a new American League record. Sean Green holds the American League record with the Dodgers at 19. That's the Major League record. That was set in 2002, and Sean Green had a 4-homer ball game in which he had the 19 total bases. Hamilton tonight has 18. That's a month's work in one night. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Napoli will foul it off the other way. Updating you on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. Still time to text in your votes. A, B, or C, 31826. Results in the O's Extra Post Game Show.
Yeah, 4 home runs don't go as far as you might think here in Charm City.
Here's the 1-2 delivery, and that'll be fouled off.
And they love Nick.
And a 1 ball, 2 strike count on Napoli.
Well, really, anybody that's ever played this game, especially if you're a hitter, you live for what Josh Hamilton has been able to do tonight. And the home runs, the double, came to the ballpark helping your team win. That certainly got him on the right road.
1-2 delivery, swung on and missed. So Patton will get his second strikeout. Well, the Hall of Fame was around on Sunday after the game for Chris Davis to get his hat and things associated with that game, because 2 pitchers finishing a game and all that going back to 1925, 1902, old records. So the Hall of Fame wanted some items to put into the hall. They'll be around tomorrow for Josh Hamilton. It's a new American League mark for total bases in a game. And that pitch is taken for a strike on the inside corner by Moreland, who's had an 0 for 4. Moreland at 264. Runner at first base, Murphy, who started the 9th inning out with a single. And an 0-2 count.
Troy Patton, former starter. They get him from Houston. He's got an edge to him. Not overpowering, but boy, the more you talk to him, you know that he doesn't like to give up runs. He knows what his job description is. Doesn't matter if it's 10-3 or tie ball game.
That one's going to go to first base. Davis will take it to the bag. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Bottom of the 9th inning, 10-3 Rangers.
Back with those extra post game, bottom of the 9th coming up. And you know how you like to say when the Rays are in, don't pitch to Pena? I think maybe you ought to amend that, don't pitch to Hamilton. A record-setting night for the Texas outfielder.
Yes, Hamilton hits 4 home runs on the night. One of the most amazing feats I've ever seen. 3 of them to straightaway center field. The Orioles came back with 2 home runs of their own, but a long way to go.
Well, 3 outs to go. Let's see how it ends up. We're coming back, but for now, back upstairs to Gary and Jim.
Jim, Rick, thanks very much. On a night where everybody expected rain, Josh Hamilton expected home runs, and that's what he got. Scott Feldman will come on to try and wrap it up.
Well, it's rain and runs. That squall. That was their offense.
It was a squall.
Yeah, it was an offensive squall. I was talking to Scott Feldman before the game. You can see he's had some good years for him. I said, boy, you got a pretty good workout regimen. He said, pretty much what I do. I work out. I don't pitch a lot. So he comes in. And again, a guy that's primarily your long man. Big, tall right-hander.
Left-handers 4 for 16 off him. Right-handers 6 for 20. He'll come on here in the 9th inning with a 10-3 lead as the Rangers try and make it 2 in a row over the Orioles in the 4-game series that will be continued tomorrow night. By the way, we talked about Josh Hamilton, the new record, 18 total bases in the game. The old record was 16, held by a number of players. The last one to do it was Carlos Delgado in that game in 2003 against Tampa. But right now, Hamilton's got the new mark, 18 total bases in one game. Here is Mark Reynolds. Reynolds an 0 for 3 in the ball game, to be followed by Andino, and the pitch will be taken for a strike. Reynolds at 183 in the year. The Orioles, Markakis, a 2 RBI game, including a home run. Hardy, 2-hit ball game, 2 for 4, a home run and an RBI, and that'll be a base hit into left field off Feldman. And the Orioles reached double digits in hits. They've got 10 hits in the game. Orioles have left only 7 on base. That'll bring up Andino. Andino is single, 1 for 3. Orioles starters who had eaten up so many innings early on, now the last 3 starts have gone 4 1/3, 5+, and Arrieta 6 1/3 tonight, giving up 6 runs, 9 hits in that time. Inside corner strike.
Yeah, Buck Showalter, the Oriole manager, still talking about Sunday and Tommy Hunter, his disappointment that 13 innings on Friday, early 5-0 lead, threw really well. Velocity, command, and then just lost the 4th and 5th inning. Actually stayed here, being sent to Norfolk, but threw today with Rick Adair, and it was real good. But the big question is, how do you take that to the mound and then into the middle innings?
And the Buck Showalter said they want him to make at least 2 starts in the minors for Tommy Hunter. He has to stay down for at least 10 days.
And that'll work out. I mean, it may be the best thing for him. You know, he's had some back rib problems. Arm seems to be fine. Did lose weight. I don't know, maybe lost a little bit too much.
1-2 right field. That's going to be a base hit. Played by Cruz. So Andino's got a 2 for 4 ball game. Runners at first and second in the bottom of the 9th with nobody out.
I think the one thing for the Orioles, they're finding out how good the Rangers are. And you don't play them that much. That's the good news. But you do certainly know what the barometer is. Because they're, if not the most elite team, most well-balanced team in the American League, maybe the most elite team in baseball.
I mean, the way they are playing right now and with the players they have, it should be another postseason, as with everybody else, if you can stay healthy. And Josh Hamilton, one of those, as we pointed out, who has struggled with that. Andy Chavez with 2 on, nobody out, 11 hits for the Orioles. Chavez, one of them, a double. He scored in the 6th inning on the RBI base hit by Markakis. Chavez has a 1 for 4 and hitting at 136. Reynolds off second, Andino's off first. Peter, and got that one in and up. 90-mile-an-hour fastball by Feldman.
Yeah, Andy with 256 at bats for the Rangers. Ended up hitting over 300. 5 home runs, 11 doubles, stole 10 out of 15.
Feldman with the 0-2 and a breaking ball down low.
Yeah, good take there. Pretty good breaking ball where you want to throw it with 2 strikes.
Feldman could be used again as a starter. He was last year. He was the 6th starter for this ball club. We were talking about Feliz, who's going to get the win tonight. Feldman could be one of those who pops into that rotation every once in a while if they want to skip Feliz or anybody else. Chopper towards second base. Going to go for the play at first. Kinsler will get it there. Reynolds moves over to third base. Andino down to second. And 1 away in the 9th inning. 2 in scoring position. And that will give Flaherty. Brian Flaherty gets his first at-bat in the game, hitting in Hardy's spot. He hasn't had many yet, but they're building up little by little. 12th game he's played in, only 25 at-bats. looking for his first extra base hit. Does have an RBI. And Flaherty will take the pitch up high for a ball.
Yeah, he'll see a veteran. Go back to 2009. Feldman actually gets his first start for the Rangers here. Wins 17 games. Hurts his knee. In and out of the lineup in 2010. Hurt pretty much all last year. Microfracture surgery.
In the air, not deep. Hamilton coming. Runner will tag but not go as Hamilton guns it into the cutoff man. So Flaherty is retired, and there are 2 down here in the 9th inning. Markakis up, 2 on, 2 down. Arrieta will be taking the loss in this one and go 2 and 3. Neftali Feliz will get the win, 2-1. And Josh Hamilton will be the lead story with a 4-homer ball game and 8 RBIs and 18 total bases. A 5 for 590. He had a double his other time up.
And Nick with a couple of singles and a home run. Chance with a couple more RBIs. Might as well take advantage of it.
That is in there for a strike. Markakis now at 248 on the year and 13 runs batted in. Lead runner is Reynolds at third base, and Dino on at second. Scott Feldman with the 0-1, and will miss up high with it. Markakis 5 for 17 off Feldman. Right back here with you tomorrow night for Game 3. As the Orioles will regroup and try and figure out how to shut down this Texas offense. 1-1 delivery, a fastball behind on it.
Yeah, Scott Feldman, he's got a curveball, got a changeup. We saw him that little cut fastball. That's what Ryan Flaherty kind of cut in on his hands. So in and out. Not overpowering, but he is 6'7", so he does throw downhill. Good angle to the plate.
Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and popped him up. Catcher, Napoli. That's the ball game. The Orioles in the 9th, no runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on. Texas comes away with their second win, as they have now scored 24 runs in the first 2 ball games of this series and get a 10-3 victory. And a lot of congratulations for center fielder Josh Hamilton. We'll have Game 3 tomorrow. Wei-Yin Chen will take the mound against Kobe Lewis. Our coverage 6:30 on Masson with those extra, presented by Jeep. Our game coverage at 7. For Jim Palmer and all of our crew here at Camden Yards, I'm Gary Thorne. Thanks, everybody. Final in this one, the Rangers 10 and the Orioles 3. This has been a Masson presentation. Jim and Rick will take a look at a big night for that Texas center fielder coming up. Those extra. Adieu, adieu.